Hey!
Oh, there we are.
Hey.
Hello, Goons and Gaggle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited for this. I don't even know if I can adequately describe how excited I am for this. All right, so we are playing some Call of Cthulhu. Welcome to our very first live streamed TTRPG ever.
Zowie
Which is
zowie.
which is a really good thing for me. I'm very excited about this. So the game is Call of Cthulhu. For those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a pretty old. It's older than I was expecting. It's a surprisingly old tabletop role playing game, almost as old as Dungeons and Dragons, not quite. Um, but this, of course, is eldritch horror set in the mythos of H.P. Lovecraft, and we're gonna do a little adventure set in the 1920s in a little town called Mayfield, Ohio. Um, I should mention before we start, was trying to put this in the description, but I couldn't get it working in time. We are going to be doing music and sound by Sirenscape. I'll post a link to the attributions because it's all open source. It's all
Okay.
free because they're a great company, which is really cool. But I'm gonna be sending some stuff in, or I'll be posting a description so that I properly attribute the artists who created the sounds that we'll be hearing tonight.
Word.
So,
Yeah.
without any further ado, I'd like to give a super warm gaggle welcome to the beautiful faces surrounding me to both sides and below. So why don't I go around here and we'll give a little introduction and say a little hello. Why don't we start with you on my left, Campbell?
What's the name?
Me?
Who's left?
Yeah, Campbell. Who are you? Who are you playing? Yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself for those of you who are not familiar.
Sure. I'm Campbell, she, her pronouns. And tonight I will be playing Sweetie McClintock. Originally from Kinston, North Carolina, but I find myself here in Mayfield.
Love it.
Anything
Love it.
else?
That's great. That's great. I'll have more questions for you later, but we'll work our way to those. All right, Dan. How about you? Tell the gaggle who you are.
Hey, I'm Dan. You know me. Some of you don't. Yeah. I will be playing Hugsley Lacker. Hugsley is very new to Mayfield. He just got hired as a professor at the university.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Let's hear from Tyler.
All right. I will be playing Benny Kaplan, the retired Jewish boxer. And for those
Of
who
course.
don't know,
It's just Tyler!
the 20s and 30s were the golden age of Jewish boxing.
I
So,
didn't know that. Thank you.
yeah,
So
and
cool.
I
you
know,
will
right? We're learning.
you will find out what his boxing nickname is at some point.
Promising.
Oh no, I think I
Can't
have
wait
an
to hear it.
idea of what it is.
Don't you love
I
all
know
of like
Tyler.
don't you
That's
love
a
the
good
random
idea.
things that you learn from playing tabletop
Oh,
role
God.
playing games? Just like I've learned more about 1920s suburbia this week than I have ever known.
Hot.
All right, let's take it to you, Ned.
Hey, I'm Ned Iannacone. I will be playing Buddy Deadeye Wilson, a 52-year-old Pinkerton detective, Pinkerton agent, known for busting unions and beating down the little guy. So,
Yeah, among
a couple
other
unions
You're
need
gonna
some
be great at
busting out
parties.
in Mayfield, is what I heard. So, they sent me out here
among
to
other
get some
nasty
work done.
things. Those Pinkertons are a sinister bunch. All right, let's hear from you, Trev.
Yes, hello. Hi, hey, hi, hello, Gaggle, and those joining us for the first time. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Trevor William Fayle. I'm so excited to be here tonight in a player chair rather than the DM chair. I'm super pumped, and tonight I will be portraying for all of you Dickie Harrow, originally from Boston, Massachusetts, a veteran of World War One. Uh, now finding himself in this small town as a projectionist at the local theater. Uh, we'll find out more about Dickie later, but that's me for now.
Fantastic. I love it. I have a quick question for everybody. Does anyone have like a favorite entry into the horror canon? Perhaps like a movie or a TV show, a video game, a book, anything that's like meant to spook you. That's a particular favorite.
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
remember one of my first horror obsessions when I was a kid. If anybody in the chat remembers the book Jade Green by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor, give a hey ho in the chat. It's very, very spooky.
What's so spooky? Was it just that you were young? Was it the sort of the first?
It is a book in which this young girl moves into like her uncle and her adult cousin's house, and they tell her before she comes to the house that she's not allowed to bring anything green into the house.
What?
But she sneaks in like a green picture frame. I think it's got like a picture of her mother in it.
Oh
And
shit!
then spooky stuff starts happening, and like the main ghost is just a dismembered hand
What?
that like crawls out from under her bed.
What?
It's so, and it's this is a book for preteens.
Gotcha.
When I was
Spooky.
young, I saw Troll 2 for the first time.
Oh my
And
god!
to many, it's one of the worst movies ever made.
What a spectacular piece of
But
shit.
to a very young Daniel Eisen, I was absolutely terrified. Absolutely terrified. I remember like the next song I heard on the radio afterwards because I was so traumatized. I couldn't sleep for weeks, and I was afraid to eat food. Like it was bad.
Dan, I feel like that movie, not only in terms of how scary it was for you, but like just in general, was so formative for you. You actually referenced that movie,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is a thing that nobody does.
Yeah, it stays with me. You know, I've also peed on tables of food too. You know.
I haven't seen Trolls. I'm going to assume that's something from the movie. Sorry, Trolls
Troll
2.
2.
Yeah, exactly.
Troll
Sorry, Trolls 2. Trolls 2.
Trolls is that Pixar or that
Troll,
animated.
singular
Very
troll.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Troll.
That
Just
one I have
just
seen,
the one
actually.
troll, really.
Yeah.
Just one
Oh,
troll
boy.
peeing on one table. Yeah.
But yeah, that's another funny thing about like horror is that I feel like everyone has usually it's movies, but sometimes TV shows or like visual media because like a book you have to seek it out. You have to open the pages and find the scary things. But like a TV show or a movie, it's so easy to just like walk in somewhere accidentally and see something on screen when you're way too young to see it, and it just sticks with you forever. So I think everyone has a scary movie that they think is the scariest movie ever. That everyone else is
Yeah.
like, "What are you talking about? That's not scary."
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that's Terminator 2.
Really?
It's Terminator 2.
Intense.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Because I was maybe like, I don't know, 7 years old, and I was at a computer show, which if you've never been to a computer show, it will explain a lot about how I'm such a nerd. But my dad used to take me, because my dad's a nerd too, he would take me to these like basically trade shows where they would rent out, like these touring shows would rent out like a banquet hall, basically, like the kind of room where you'd have a senior prom. And you could just walk around to all these booths and check out all of this like cool merchandise, and you could just go there and get all, and that's what we did when we built my first computer. That was a little later, but we were there, and on display on one of the monitors, they were just to show off the monitor, they were playing Terminator 2, like totally appropriate in a family setting, right? So I walked around, and the first time I saw it, the first lap around the place was the scene where the Mercury guy is like putting his finger through the security guard's eye.
Oh yeah. That is a
Spoilers
screwed up
if you haven't
moment.
seen
Yep.
T2. So
That'll do it.
that was
That'll do it.
so that was the jab, and then the big strong right hook was when we walked around again, and it was the scene where Sarah Connors gets like atom bombed and turned into a skeleton as she's leaning against
Holding
the chain
on to
link
the
fence.
fence.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, the two worst,
That's
two
awful.
worst scenes in the movie.
Yeah. We really just had stellar timing. So that's
That'll do
why
it.
Terminator 2 is like to me the scariest movie ever.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge sucker for all things horror. I mean, I don't have to reach very far in my little office here to find a copy of the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. And
I'm gonna throw out in the chat, we've got Ace the freaking case saying the Blob scarred me for life.
Oh yeah.
Lioness Rampant says Jurassic Park. And
Stagnant
Maddie
flux.
Nave says Apollo 13 or whatever that space movie was.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yo, that movie
Stagnant-
is
Stagnant
scary.
Flux mentioned the
Like-
Chucky movie. Any of the Chucky
Uh-huh.
movies?
Oh sure.
Ooh, I
Who
saw
remembers-
Event Horizon. Event Horizon is
I
terrifying.
want to see that. I hate
Terrifying.
I
That
haven't
might
seen
be
that
what
yet.
Maddie's talking about.
Ooh. There's
Who
like
remembers-
this scene.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's this scene where something catches fire in space and it's something liquid. So there's just blobs of fire floating around and like
Oh, God.
latching on and burning. It's awful. It's terrible.
Nope.
I'm scared to watch that movie. I love a scary movie, but for some reason, like Event Horizon, I'm too scared.
That's a lot.
Wait, we cannot forget Final Destination. Any of the Final Destination movies.
Those scared the holy hell out of me.
That's
No,
spaghetti,
That's a
man.
good one.
That's
a good one.
spaghetti.
The tanning booth,
I
the
didn't
tractor
get me.
trailer on the highway.
That's definitely very formative for like our generation. I feel like we all must have gone through at least a couple of years when we were like trying to figure out all the crazy ways in a construction site that we could just like die from a piece of debris flying off.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
No,
think the
Tales
one...
of the Crypt is the
Yes!
the one that got me.
Yes.
Which one? The
It
TV show or
was-
the movie?
The show. I didn't even know there was a movie. There's so many. The one I remember is the girl who just ran into the wall and then she had the mask on all the time. I don't really remember it all, but like that's all I remember. And then she took the mask off and it was all scary. I don't know. I was like 5 and my older sister was watching it. It wasn't good.
Yeah, that's why you don't remember, because your brain has purposely taken that traumatic event out of it from the picture.
I'm
And now
still,
we're
like,
helping you relive it and be traumatized.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm pretty
And now
much
we're
a
making you
baby
talk
when it
about
comes to I'm a pretty big baby when it comes to spooky content. Most of the scary stuff I've seen is because I've been dragged to it by friends and acquaintances. But I am actually a pretty big fan of Lovecraft, as much of a fan as you can be, I guess. And my favorite of his stories is The Color from Out of Space. Because the thing that I love about Lovecraft is that he was writing in this time of like these huge technological advancements, and he was terrified of all of them. Like there's one of his stories where air conditioning is the main villain, and the Color from Outer Space is because they had just the ultraviolet spectrum had just been discovered. And he heard about it, and he's like, colors that we can't see? What might they be capable of? And he wrote a horror story about it. So that's my little tidbit to start.
I think the horror movie that does it for me, that one scarred me for life, and two really like put horror on the map for me, was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It like, and the cop is in on it, and like, and then the new one with Jessica Biel is just as good.
I love the Jessica
whole
Biel
series
remake.
keeps getting better and better and more terrifying as it goes. Oh,
I love that. It's one of my favorite remakes. Bless Jessica Biel. Her torso is undeniable in that movie. Her midriff is so powerful.
that is a powerful midriff if I've ever seen one.
Powerful midriff.
Are you
I mean, yeah, that's
simping,
just
Campbell? Are you simping?
I have a painting on my wall of
Simp alert.
just Jessica Biel's midriff in that movie.
Do you know how hard it is to find a poster of just Jessica Biel's midriff? She had to get a full
It's
size one
framed.
and just rip
We've
the
seen
top
it.
half
I
off.
painted it. I painted a painting of it.
Well, there you go. It's easier to find those, I guess, if you have the right colors on hand. Excellent. Well, yes. So I'm so glad that it's one of my favorite genres has had such a formative effect on you and indeed everybody. Sometimes, maybe not in the most positive way, or at least not in our memory, but I think, I think there's really something to seeking the sensation of being scared. I think it reaffirms the will to live in a really interesting and powerful way. And sort of to your point, Trevor, about Lovecraft writing about things that he was scared about, I actually wanted to open the evening with a quote by H.P. Lovecraft, which I just think like this is so emblematic of what was always going on in his head. And he said, I think this was one of his letters. He was a prolific letter writer. The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of the black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little, but some day the piecing together of dissociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality, and our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the light into the peace and safety of a new dark age.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
Woof.
Something about
with that in mind.
Something about that speaks to me. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. So the sort of format for tonight is we're going to spend, I think, the next 40 minutes, give or take, maybe a little longer, going through sort of a quick version of the character creation process. All of my players have already come up with the concepts for their characters and the names, as you can see on their little name cards here. But we are going to go through the process of like rolling for stats and allocating all the little pieces of the character sheet. And in fact, I do have a character sheet here that I can pull up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So, while that is up, go to my character creation guidelines that I sent all of you.
Y'all are in on session 0 from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah. From the start.
Oh, here we go. Oh. There we go. Couldn't remember where I kept it. Okay. So, as anyone who's watching the stream can see on the sheet, very similar to Dungeons & Dragons in that you have main stats and then you have a bunch of other skills that can kind of depend on those stats. So what we're going to start with is rolling for the stats, or the characteristics, I should say, that you see on the top of the character sheet. Those are strength, constitution, size, dexterity, appearance, intelligence, power, education. Move rate is something else that we'll figure out based on some of those other stats. So the first step is to figure out our strength, con, dex, appearance, power, and luck scores. And the way you do that is you roll a 3d6 and multiply that number by 5. And once you've done that, however many times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, actually do that 5 times. Roll luck on its own. So like, yeah.
Say that
Roll
one more time.
3d6 times 5, and do that for do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then once you have all those numbers, we'll allocate them to strength, con, dex, appearance, and power.
There is not much I like more than rolling stats. It just like it has so, because it's like the beginning of something. It carries so there's so much baked into rolling stats.
Absolutely. And while
So
you
many
guys are getting ready to do that,
I'm so nervous.
I'm gonna get a little mood music going here. Gotta set
This is also
set the
one of my
scene.
favorite historical periods. Like, you know, the like roaring 20s and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
How's the music level for you guys? Can you hear it okay?
It sounds good to me.
That sounds
Okay,
good.
good.
My first roll was a 3 and 2 1s, so I'm
I
doing
did that
good.
too.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Oh my god, do we have the makings of another Sherrick the Cleric here?
Oh man, oh man.
We love Sherrick the Cleric.
So Tyler, what do you think you're gonna put that on? Strength, constitution, dexterity, appearance, or power? As far as like, what's your dump stack gonna be with that? What was that?
Well,
4, 8,
I was
12?
hoping intellect could be the dump stat since
Ooh,
since I'm an
unfortunately, that's
Xbox.
not an option for this current set of stats, because that one actually has a different roll, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Oh wait, was appearance one of those questions?
Appearance is one of those, yes.
Because I'm definitely ugly, so I would go with my low stat and appearance.
All right, we're gonna dump appearance for Tyler. Okay.
Yeah, I think think Buddy's letting age get to him. I think appearance is gonna be his problem too.
Ouch. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. I just rolled a 4.
Oh! Oh
We
no!
do have some done stats in the group, don't we?
Ouch, ouch. Ouchies.
All right, so what? Well, Trevor, I think I already know where you're gonna put that one. I won't say
do.
it because it sort of gives
Yeah.
away a bit of a crucial thing about your character.
I made up for it. I rolled a 14 on the next roll, so
Excellent.
Holy.
So let's see, what's 14 times 5?
70.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Wow. I just rolled a 17.
Woohoo!
Rocks,
We all
baby.
get some.
3, 4, 5. Okay, great.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. So yeah, exactly.
Oh.
You can have that.
And there's a 9.
So those 5 we can put anywhere we like, yes?
You can put them anywhere you like among strength, constitution, dexterity, appearance, or power.
Right.
I am having. This is a. Forgive the occasional resizing of players' windows. This is something that Skype and OBS are known to do, but I'll try to stay on top of it.
In terms of like a goon presentation, tech has been pretty great so far. We weren't 30 minutes late, so I think we're doing fine.
over to the chat where they say "Rest in peace, Dan, 2022."
Oh no!
Oh no.
Did we lose Dan? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that I'm sorry to say that I have no power over that. That happens. That's all due to
Fine.
That's all due to data
Yeah.
coming across the waves.
Rebel Flame just commented marks off bingo card.
Do we have a new? Do we have a Goonthulu bingo card already? Y'all are so on it. Y'all are
Oh
so
my
that,
God.
on it.
that was the first
Gotta
thing
love
they
the
did.
gaggle.
They
Uh-huh.
bang that out.
I love it.
See, I know where I'm putting the 20.
I know. Where am I going to put the 20?
What's gonna be your dump stat? Is that what you're wondering?
Everybody needs a dump stat.
It's true. No one can be perfect. And
Yeah,
that's the thing
mine's-
about Call of Cthulhu. I needed to. I wanted to say this at some point tonight, but what's kind of cool about this game and a lot of other TTRPGs, as opposed to like Dungeons and Dragons, is that this is not a game about extraordinary heroes charging into heroic circumstances where they're sure to show off their prowess and prevail. This is
no.
a game about ordinary people being thrust into unimaginably horrible circumstances. I mean, how would you react if you were standing in front of a Shoggoth and all you had was like a table leg, you know?
Oh, I'd start swinging.
Oh, I love how you said that.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what else can you do? It's not like you can cast Fireball. Or can you?
Or can I?
Or
Or
can
can you?
All right, so
We'll
I'm
see.
sorry.
We'll see
Can
where this
you-
adventure takes us.
Can you tell me what stats we're putting those in again?
Yes. Strength, Constitution, Dexterity, Appearance, and Power.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about power, Kay? What does power mean exactly? Is that physical?
Yes, it is physical power. Although it also ties into your mental power as well. So I actually, yes, but actually no. I think we're getting Dan back. Hey, there he
Hey,
is.
sorry, my hard line died, so now I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay,
Huh.
all right. Well, that's all good.
All
But he
right.
sure is back.
In doing so, also you resized all of my windows. Hang on, I gotta do some quick
Oh,
fixing here.
Yes.
This will
And
hopefully be a
now
problem,
it's
less
a
of problem
Goon
when we-
production.
Now it's a
Sorry.
Goon. Yeah, exactly. Now it's a Goons original.
Now it's us. That's better. I knew it was gonna come eventually.
Yeah.
and
I
then,
like
let's
being
see.
small on my window. It's fine.
I don't. I want to see your beautiful face. Tyler got a brand new webcam just for this stream. I want him to be able to show it off.
That's right. Yeah, they
Also,
want to
those
see.
headphones that make you look so tall.
Well, that was to match my ugly appearance of my character. You know, I'm really getting into my role.
Yeah, really getting into character. I do have
Yeah.
copies of. I have physical copies. I've sent the players all digital copies of the player's handbook, and I have physical investigator's handbook. Excuse me, and I have the physical copy here in front of me. But I'm going to take a quick look at characteristics and see if I can get a better idea, a better description of what exactly they actually apply to.
Wow. So
Um,
I got 80, 70, 60, 50, 20.
Nice 80.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
looking
I'll
at
take that.
I'm looking at 85, 30, 70, 65, 45, 60.
Any bad?
What's the difference between strength and power?
Well, okay, so strength is physical strength. Power, actually, just found the page. Power indicates force of will. The higher the power, the higher the aptitude for and resistance to magic. An investigator with 0 power is zombie-like and without purpose, as well as being unable to use magic unless stated otherwise. Power that is lost during the game is lost permanently. This also ties into your sanity.
Okay.
So it's really just like your mental fortitude, I would say, is probably the better
All
description
right.
of what power applies to.
I'm
So-
all set up, Kay. Should I move on to the next thing?
Yes. Let's see. Well, actually, let's give everyone else just a second to catch up. But while they're doing that, why don't you tell me what you allocated them to, and tell me what that what
Yes.
that's
Would
gonna
you like to
mean-
know?
what that's going to mean for our dear friend Dicky?
So I put 80 into strength. I
Excellent.
put
Okay.
70 into dex. I put 50 into power. I put 60 into con, and I put 20 into appearance.
Excellent. And we'll reveal later on why that is shockingly relevant to your character.
Kay, let me know and I'll tell you what I allocated as well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Bud Wilson's got a 85 in strength. He's got that old man strength, just old muscle.
Just earned over years of tossing folks out of bars.
Yeah, exactly. His dex is a 30, though. He ain't too quick. He's lost it with age. His power is a 70. He's a hard man to break.
Yeah.
He's a tough man. His constitution is a 65. His appearance is a 45. Not great. And his education is a 60.
Okay. Not bad. Anybody else? Anybody else done with that
I'm
first
ready.
initial?
Yes.
All right, let's hear it,
Campbell
Campbell.
can go first.
Right. I've got a 25 in strength, a 55 in dex, a 60 in power, a 50 in con, and an 80 in appearance.
Hey,
What?
sweetie!
How
There you
fast
go.
in 80s?
He looks good. What can I say?
That's our sweetie McClintock, our Southern Belle.
Maddie
How
the
about you,
Knave,
how
thank
about you,
you.
Tyler?
This is
All
this
right.
chair is absolutely dad vibes.
So,
I know,
good
I feel
old ugly Benny Kaplan. 25 appearance, and then he's gonna have 70 strength, 70 constitution, 50 power, and 35 dex.
Okay.
Hit like a freight train.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, he's big, dumb, ugly, and strong.
Refrigerator of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right, how about you, Dan? You got yours sorted out?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, let's see, let's do 45 strength. We got a lot of muscle already. We don't need another one. Constitution is going to be 55.
Okay.
Dexterity is, let's make that 70.
Ooh.
Appearance 60, and intelligence, or that's not here, right? It's power next, is that right?
The
Strength,
education, I
dex,
think.
power, con, and appearance.
Oh, wait a second. Were some of you putting those scores in education? It's strength, constitution, dexterity, appearance, and power that we were doing.
Yeah, so my power is
Okay,
65.
Power 65. Okay, great. All right.
Sorry,
so I
one
think
more
that's,
time. Strength, dexterity,
That's it.
constitution.
Power and
appearance.
appearance. The first.
Power. Yeah.
The first 5.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, make that quick little fix. But before we do the next allocated stats, let's go ahead and roll for luck. So since luck is luck, this one is just straight 3d6 multiplied by 5.
3d6 multiplied by 5.
Yes,
Isn't that what the other ones were?
it is, but it's the other ones you could allocate. This one, you get a bad roll, you just have bad luck, and that's just how the story goes.
Come on, baby.
Oh boy.
Oh, mama.
Well, that's not bad.
That ain't bad at all.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes.
So luck is something that is like it's treated like a resource in this game, so you can
That's not bad at
mark
all.
where it is on that little track on the character sheet.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, here we go.
All right, everybody get ready for the Zuma cam. He's scratching at my door. I'm gonna go let him in.
Zuma.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Hi, bud. Hello, bud. He loves to be in the way. It's his favorite thing. Okay, you've all got your luck scores. Do we have any like really lucky people? Do we have any really unlucky people? I don't need to know all your scores. I just want to get like the general vibe.
I feel pretty lucky.
I'm pretty lucky too.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the luck, baby.
Oh, hello. He's coming.
They
to say
got
hi.
middling.
Enough. All done. Thank you. Okay. So the next set of skills we're going to roll for are size, intelligence, and education. And for these, you roll 2d6, add 6, and then multiply by 5. It sounds more complicated than it is. Basically, it's just like you're rolling 3d6 and you get a 6. So, yay.
Great.
Awesome.
2d6 plus 6
Plus 6
times 5.
Times 5.
Okay.
Wow.
Hi, Zuma.
I am rolling rocks tonight.
Zuma, you look so mystical in this
Oh.
arcade purple light.
Except that one. Oh my god! I got a 3!
Are you tiny?
Wait, that's not possible. That's not possible. I got an 8. Oh.
8 times
man.
5.
Oh my
So what did you roll?
Good thing
2
one
1.
of those dice is 6.
Woof.
I kid you not.
I
I
just
rolled
rolled bananas.
What's bananas?
I rolled so many, and I'm not that big. Like I want to just
Girl, you lanky.
fudge these numbers a little bit.
Guess you gotta wear
That's fine.
flats, Campbell.
I should have said earlier too, one other thing that I will allow for is if you have like a story reason that you want to decrease one of your scores, I'll allow it.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. You can do that as much as you'd like.
If you want to be dumber, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be dumber, if
just
you want to
wanna
be
be
smaller, if you want to be
smaller.
uglier, yeah,
Like
be smaller.
I can't be too smart, you know. Just one bit.
Fair enough.
All right, dope.
Okay.
All right, you guys got all those figured out and allocated?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the next step in my little cheat sheet here is going to be figuring out our age modifiers. So I'm just going to go around. Campbell, how old is Sweetie McClintock?
23.
23. You are going to make one improvement check for education. So what that means is you roll a d100, and if the roll is equal to or higher than your current education score, add a d10.
Hey Kay, I have a
Becca.
question for you.
Hey, Bags by Becca. Bags by Becca, the bees bag.
Bees bag.
What's your question, Tyler?
So you said I rolled a 60, and you said intelligence,
Education.
education. I rolled a 60, and my education is 65.
Okay, so then leave it how it is.
Okay.
Your education.
Where do
save
we
is
see our
65.
education? How do we get our education?
That was one of
That's
the
one of
second
those.
set of stats.
2d6 plus 6 times 5, Dan.
Can I so I got a 60, a 50, and a 60.
60,
But
50,
I
60.
should
Okay.
be big and I shouldn't be that smart. Can I take 10 from one and add it to size?
60 is, yeah, I think that makes sense. 70, because let's
Cool.
see, I think I have a list of
I'll take it away from so I'll have maybe 70 size, then 50 intelligence and 50 education.
yeah,
Does
that makes sense.
Sound good? Cool.
Yeah, because like 65 is like average human size according to the rulebook, and 80 is like very strong, very tall, like.
I mean,
Or
I
obese.
was a heavyweight boxer, so
There you
You
go.
know. I never got my shot though. You'll find out why. All right.
It could have been a contender.
Yeah.
It could have been somebody.
I think where are you at now? You're at 70. I think that puts you in the range for like.
But then I put it, yeah. So if I take 10 from one of my rolls, then I'll be 70 size, 50 intellect, 50 education.
I think that's pretty good.
I didn't want to be
You're
too
a good,
smart.
big, tough
'cause
guy.
it didn't make sense.
All good. All right, let's see. Trevor, how old
Yes.
is Dickie Harrow?
He is 28.
28. Okay, I think you're gonna have same as Campbell. Just make one improvement check against your education.
And if it's equal to or higher, then I get a bonus?
Correct, and that bonus will be 1d10.
There. Okay, that is Nope. I got a 16.
All right, your education stays where it is. You eschewed an education to fight for your country.
I did. That
Overseas.
is what happened.
Wow.
That is what happened.
The dice tell the story. Ned, how old is Buddy Wilson?
Buddy Wilson's a ripe age of 52.
All right, at 52, you will make 3 improvement checks for education. So
Wow!
So like each one, they don't. How do I describe this? You do it all the way through, like you do the whole improvement check, and then you do it again, and then you do it one more time. So
Okay.
start by roll. Just let's take it one step at a time. Roll a d100 for me.
That is a 76.
Ooh, and what's your education? That's got to be higher.
45.
All right, roll a d10 and add that to your education. Add the d10 to your education.
Okay. It's not a D10. 9!
Nice. Okay,
Dang.
add 9 to your education. Now do that
Woo!
process again. Roll a d100, and if it's higher than your than your current education after you've added that 9, then you get to do it again. So like it gets a little harder each time if you
Yeah.
continually do it. Yeah.
Let me do that math. All right, so now I'm at 54.
Okay.
I'll roll again. That's an 81.
Nice. Okay. So add another d10.
I'll add another D10. That's a 3.
Mm-hmm.
College
That
boy.
puts me at 57. Let's see if I can get above 60. Come on, Dad needs a new pair of shoes.
Come on, daddy.
Nope, no dice.
All right.
No dice.
No shoes.
23.
All right. No problem. Okay, well, still, 2 improvement checks to your education. That's pretty good. Tyler, how old is Benny Kaplan, the boxer?
He is 35.
35.
That's why I had to retire. Getting too old for the game, you know?
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I have to go back. Ned, how old were you again?
I'm 52.
Okay, there was more.
Yes.
You need to deduct 10 points among strength, con, or dex.
10 points.
10
From
points.
strength, con, or dex.
Does that
Yes,
all
so
have to
it
come
And I
from
can
one
split it
skill?
up, right?
It does
I can do,
not.
like,
You can split it up. It doesn't have to all come from one source. You can do like 5 strength, 5 con, 5 strength, 3 con, 2 dex, whatever combination, as long as it adds up to 10.
Well, I think what I'll do is I'll take 5 from strength and con, because I got an 85 strength and a 65 con, so that I'll still be in a good range for both of those.
Okay.
Because
great.
I don't really want to take my dex below 30. I feel like that's just dangerous.
Fair. Last but not least, Ned.
Yes.
Reduce your appearance by 10.
Oh, easy. Absolutely.
All right. Those are
35
that's
it
the
is.
that's the age modifier for a guy who's getting up in years.
A guy,
A guy who's getting up in years. You're getting up there in years, old man.
Hey, listen.
Not
I've
as
been
quick-
around a little
not as
bit.
quick as you
I've been
once
doing a little bit of
was.
this, a little bit of that.
Okay, now Tyler, sorry about that. Let's go back to you. How old is Benny Kaplan?
35.
35. So you, just like Campbell and Trevor, will make 1 improvement check to your education, and that's it.
Okay, what do I got to roll again? Sorry.
Start with the D100.
Okay. If you
Gotta grab
say
ice for my
so.
bourbon. I'll be right back.
Ooh.
Bye. Miss you already.
That is a 46.
And what's your education score?
50.
All right, so your education stays where it is. You too,
Cool.
perhaps, chose a life away from academia.
All right.
Oh,
To
yeah.
become the best boxer in somewhere. And Dan, last but not least, how
Uh-huh.
old are you?
That's me. I'm 30, baby.
You 30, baby. All right, so yeah, same for you. Make 1 improvement check. 1 improvement check for education.
It left my brain all the times you've explained it in the past. I'm
Roll a
sorry.
D100, Dan.
Rebel
Damn it.
Flame just said.
Like Cthulhu!
This
With
is
the
why
bourbon.
I wanted everyone to have the documents open.
I have it
Are
open,
double
I
zeros
just-
100?
Yes,
I just
double
can't
zeros
figure
are
it all
100.
out. There's too much
So
going on. Okay?
I got a natty 100.
All right, cool.
Oh,
When it's bad to roll high, that'll be a critical fail. But right now, when it's good, that is a success. So add a 1d10 to your education score.
I'm gonna be so educated, y'all.
Well,
You
are, the
which
professor,
makes
so that
sense
makes
given your
sense.
backstory. How cool is that?
Gaspeth.
The gas.
Okay, 1d10. Oh wow,
Mhm.
great. I got a 2, so I'm 82.
Okay, that's still pretty darn good. That's an excellent.
Look, I know my books. Okay.
You're pretty good at this whole book learning thing. Okay. The next step is going to be to determine the half and fifth values for all of those stats. Strength, appearance, constitution, blah blah blah. I'm going to bring the quick reference chart up on the stream here. You should all have this as well. It's a handy way that you can find your number and go across the line and see what that will mean. What these numbers mean, for those of you who do not know, is that so a higher score is better, right? Like Dan has an 80-something education, and rolling low on D100s in this game is good, because all of your checks and everything are rolled on D100s instead of a D20. So and if you roll under your score, then it's a success. So the higher your score, the more likely you are to get a success. Makes sense. If you get under half your score, then that's called a hard success. And there will be some checks that I'll make you roll that I'll say like a hard something check will get this. And then if you get below a fifth of the total, then that's an extreme success. And that's like, that's something that's very difficult to do under very strenuous circumstances, but you managed to pull it out because you got gumption, kid.
Because you got a lot of heart.
You got a lot of heart and gumption and chutzpah.
A lot of chutzpah.
You got balls, kid.
Or that, yeah.
Or that.
That's a
That
little,
works
it's a little bit contemporary for I think what we were going for, Ned, but we'll take it.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay, so yeah, so
I did
the chart
that
will
on
make it quick and
purpose.
easy. Like, just as a for instance here, I'm looking at the chart. If I go to in this base number column, I'll go to like 85. Then I go to the right. The half value is 42. I go to the right again. The fifth value is 17.
Okay, where are you?
Oh, the chart should
looking
be.
That's
the
one
chart
of the
should be in
things
the Google Drive.
included in the in the drive.
Thank you.
Yeah, rolling
the
low
half-
is good. I know it's a real mind twister coming from D&D where you just pretty much always want to be rolling high. But in Cthulhu, as if to throw you for a loop in this world of Eldritch horror, you want to roll low. It's like golf.
Go
It's the
figure.
golf of tabletop role playing games.
Right
Yes.
side
It's the golf of tabletop role playing.
down. I see.
Just
I
not as-
see.
Alrighty, what's next
All
there,
right.
Miss K?
All right, let's see. So you've all got your half and fifth values.
Oh
Getting there.
yeah.
Wait, before we
Roughly.
move on to next, I just want to note that R.R. Bennett has dubbed Ned the Goon Father.
I mean, just calling it like he sees it, I think.
Oh, so good.
Oh, this chart is great.
It's handy, right?
Very.
Yeah,
cool.
saves you from doing a little bit of math.
Soup's handy.
Yeah.
We all
Hey,
love
this will help
games.
when
We're
you get
not so crazy
criticals.
about math.
Or hard successes later on.
Exactly. Well, criticals I think is just it's
It's
different
just a
for
one,
depending on
yeah.
the roll. But yeah, just a 1 is a critical or a 100 critical fail.
DM.
I'm the keeper. Thank you very much. But go ahead.
Ooh,
Ooh. She said, nope.
I'm kidding. What's up?
Here's to you, Gaggle.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Let's all do a cheers to the
Clinky.
Gaggle.
To the Gaggle.
Cheers,
To the gaggle, clink clink.
Thanks for
Clink,
being
Clink, clink,
here.
clink.
Dan, did you have a question? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh
Step
no,
on
I
your-
just
your
finished.
heart.
I just finished the tag. Someone said critical fail, and I said DM. You know, gotta keep that branded tight.
Oh,
I
so you
see.
weren't
Gotta
even
get
you
that
weren't even
brand
calling me a you weren't even calling me the DM. I was just being an asshole.
Hey, not everything's
I
about
like
you.
all
Even
of
though
it.
this is your game that you've spent weeks preparing for and are generously guiding us through.
This whole
Ace the
thing.
freaking case. Slancha right back at you.
Before we get into this, Dan, can you tell the story of my Cthulhu?
Michael Boo! Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
Cthulhu!
believe that I was witnessing it in real time when it happened.
Yeah, well, there's a couple steps in the car of Cthulhu. What I played some French dude. I forget his name.
In the car on the road trip, we played
who-
Call of
Yes.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, and I played some French dude who was also a depth psychologist. And he kept drinking absinthe, and I kept falling asleep because we were up at like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So my guy was technically blacking out, but I was falling asleep. And then we were headed to the beach, and my character sheet gets snatched out of the car, flies out the window, and I shriek at the top of my lungs, "Michael Fu!" And
Just immediately, as we see the Cthulhu fly out the car window.
it wasn't a bit. It was real. I showed
was-
you a little piece of me. It was real.
My Cthulhu.
That was real.
Oh, this
I'm
is
ready.
the most people we've had watching at one time. This is amazing.
Thanks for
How
being
many we
here,
got in the
everybody.
house?
We got 38, it says.
38 peeps in
Wowie
the kitchen.
zowie!
Gaggle
Yeah.
representing.
What a
And we love
bunch of
you all so
nerds.
very, very much. Thank you
That's
so much for
really,
being
really cool.
Love it. All right, gaggle. I mean, gang. I mean, goons. Whatever.
Yes.
I have done all of my
Ahem.
halves and quarters.
All right, I'm good.
Marvelous. So the next step, we're gonna figure out your damage bonus, your build, your hit points, and your movement rate. For damage bonus and build, there's a table, which is it'll give you a number based on the result of your strength plus your size. So,
Big boy.
yeah, that one I sent you. But I will also put it up on the stream for people to see. I'll put that page up. It's gonna look a little small because it's kind of small on the page, but it's there. There's a little guy.
Whoa. I got a heck of a damage bonus.
There you go. Yeah, that'll come in handy when you're trying to do damage.
When I'm trying to survive.
When you are trying to do damage. But yeah, so basically you not multiply. You add your strength and your size, and if it's between 2 and 64, then damage bonus and build are both -2. If it's between 65 and 84, inclusive, then it's -1 and -1. If it's between 85 and 124, it's 0 and 0. If it's between 125 and 164, your damage bonus is a d4. You get to add a d4 to those rolls, and your build is +1. And if it's between 165 and 204, or I guess higher, I don't know if that's actually mathematically possible.
You'd have to
you
roll
add
really
1d6.
high.
Yeah. Then you get a 1d6 to your damage rolls, and your build is +2.
Oh, that's not great. That's not great for me.
Are you in that -2 range, Campbell?
I'm in the -1.
That's
oh,
not
-1.
bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Better than
Don't worry,
-2.
sweetie. I'll fight the tentacles for you.
What? You are the tentacles. We know you.
Yeah, Trevor, let me double check your nameplate here on the stream. Oh yeah, the tentacles. It says right there.
Oh, me.
What do you know?
For those who are familiar with our Divinity 2 streams, you'll know that I am in fact the tentacles.
Hey, sometimes you just need
A good old chaos noodle.
a good old
Get the-
chaos noodle.
Get the danger noodle out. All right, so
Sometimes
once you
you
all
gotta-
have figured out your damage bonus and your build, next is your hit points, which is just your con plus your size divided by 10, rounded down.
Who came up with these decisions?
Uh, Yogg-Sothoth?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Con.
You said
So okay, let's just one step at a time. Add your
Really?
size and your con. Con plus size.
Good
done.
work on this sheet, Kay. This is making it way easier than going through the actual handbook.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to like get a little cheat sheet going. We are doing this not only for our own entertainment, but for the Gaggles' entertainment. So,
Oh,
want to keep
yeah.
it snappy. So the con plus size, take that number, divide it by 10, and which, you know, for all you math nerds, just mean you move the decimal point one place to the left.
All right, nerd.
And then you round that number down. So if you end up with like a decimal, if you end up with like a 65.7, that's 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I only have 12 health.
Yeah, that's normal.
Oh yeah. HP
That's
is
not a
normal, yeah.
lot.
I only have 10.
What?
No, it's not.
Are we gonna
You want
die?
You want to try
Sure,
to avoid.
sure is.
Well, think about it also. Like in like what do you start out with in D&D at level 1? Like if you're a wizard, roll a d6 and you end up with like 7 hit points if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is that's your hit points for the whole game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
But,
all
yes.
you get.
But also remember, like I said, this is not a game about extraordinary heroes charging into heroic circumstances. This is a game about ordinary people being thrust into horrifying circumstances.
No. Joke. Well, I mean, D&D is sort of a survival horror game at level 1.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can pretty much be killed at anything. So it's just like that for the whole campaign.
Especially
Yay.
if you're squishy.
Yeah.
So next is your sanity. Sanity is easy. It is just equal to your power.
Right.
Oh man.
That's bad.
Well,
But you'll see on the
wish my
sheet there's like
power
a
was
track.
on.
You'll see on the sheet there's like a track.
Yeah.
So as you lose you have like a well of sanity basically, and as you lose points, you'll mark that down on the track. There is also a magic score. Your magic score is your power divided by 5, rounded down.
Where does the power score go? I don't see it on the sheet.
The
It's one of
power is
the-
in your characteristics.
Yeah, one of the main characteristics at the top.
Where's magic score? Or
It
magic
Oh,
is,
point?
it's another track.
It's right below your sanity,
Yes.
next to luck.
Where
Okay.
it says Call of Cthulhu in big text,
Mhm.
it's like slightly down and to the right of that.
Oh, the magic points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Marvelous. Next. Okay, so you have we have our movement rate is the next thing that we're going to figure out. Movement rate, which actually I'm looking at the sheet there, and oh, that's up. So that's going to go up near the top in your characteristics as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's a little. This is, I mean, you know, it sounds funny saying this after the last couple of stats, but this one's a little crunchy. So, if your dex is less than your size, and so that's one thing has to be true, and your strength. What did I say? Oh yeah, if dex is less than size and strength is less than size, if both of those things are less than size, then your movement rate is 7.
But if my strength is equal to my size.
If you're
Well, there's a contingency for that.
Oh, just
Oh.
wait. Yes, there you go.
Never mind.
I see your cursor discovering it on the Google Doc as we speak. If your strength is, well, funny you should ask, Tyler, because if your strength is equal to your size, or your dex is greater than or equal to your size, or all three are equal. Sorry, let me start over. If strength is greater than or equal to size, Campbell, your movement speed is 7. Don't worry about it. If your if your strength is greater than or equal to your size, or your dex is greater than or equal to your size, or all three are equal, strength, dex, and size, then your movement is 8. If your strength is greater than your size, and... Oh, Campbell, your cursor is covering it. I can't see what it says.
Oh no!
And dex is
There you
greater
go.
than size.
That's
your
the one.
movement is 9.
We're
Yes,
all
if-
on this Google Doc.
Yes, we are. Exactly, which is what I made it for. If strength is greater than size and dex is greater than size, your movement speed is 9. So what do we got? Campbell, I was joking when I said it's 7, but I was assuming, and I'm probably right. Is your speed 7? Okay.
My dex is greater than my size.
Oh, your dex is greater than size.
Does that make me an 8?
Dex, yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. So you're nimble
My
and
strength
pretty.
my strength is less than my size, but my dex and size are the same.
Then yours is also 8.
Yes.
Anybody else? Everybody else know theirs?
We just have to outrun the rest of these goon
I am
fucks, Dan.
also.
All right.
So my
We'll trip
movement
him.
rate is a 6
Um,
because it was an 8. But because I'm old, I subtract 2.
Yes, I
Because
was just
I'm
going to say
old.
there are a few little age things there. Which I think, Ned, are you the only one in your older than 40?
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay, so be nice.
Ow!
So yes, if you're well, you're in your 50s, so you will deduct 2 from your movement. But everybody else will stay the same.
Listen, I got a bad hip. Okay. Did a lot of work out there with the miners.
All right, so
Stepping
now
on
we
a
get
lot of rocks.
to make our way down to the bottom half of this sheet, which is all of our skills. So these are going to be sort of based on your occupation and your interests. And I did send all of you a list of suggestions based on your occupations.
Mm-hmm.
Did you all look at that, or do you have any questions? Does anyone
Yep.
want to
Marked them all down.
mark them all down? Okay, right. So what you're going to do, if you've marked down the ones that you want, is you're going to, and I'll bring the character sheet back up so everybody can see. What you're going to want to do is, you also have, you also each have ways to determine what your skill point is going to be, and you have those, and you can allocate those, the total of that number throughout those skills. So I'll go in the order that you are appearing on my screen. We'll start with Campbell. Your occupational skill points are going to be your education times 2 plus your appearance times 2. You will have that many points to allocate. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of points.
Good thing you're good looking.
Well, it kind of makes sense because, we haven't really talked a lot about your career. We'll get to that shortly, but I know what your career is, and it makes sense that you're a little bit more successful for being good looking. That sounded really suggestive. It's not what I think you're thinking. Those of you who are thinking what I think you're thinking. Yeah. So education times 2 plus appearance times 2. That'll give you a certain number of points, and you can allocate those throughout those skills.
All right, I'm allocating 290 points.
Damn.
Wow. I'm just below that at 274.
Trevor, you are. Oh yeah. So yeah, you already saw yours, Ned.
I got
so
it.
Trevor,
Education times 2 plus I'm gonna do strength times 2.
Strength. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you had the option of doing Dex or Strength. Yeah, Ned, I think you already saw yours. Oh, I did. Oh, I did write yours down. Yeah, education times 2, same as Trevor. You can do education times 2 plus strength or Dex times 2. And then who's next? Tyler. Tyler, yeah, I gave you education times 2 plus strength times 2.
Yep.
And we get two.
A big 240.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
And we get
Ned?
two. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We get 2 personal interest skills. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And I know I wrote down how to get those 2. Oh right, that's just your intelligence times 2 to get the points for that.
Thank
Those can
you,
be
Keeper.
those can be whatever you want except for Cthulhu Mythos.
Mm.
You don't know nothing about no Cthulhu. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Campbell, what kind of what kind of stats are we talking for your career skills?
I can't remember which one is my career skills and which one is my personal because they're a little intertwined. But it adds up to 10 total, right? Just no matter what I chose.
10 skills total, yeah.
Okay. So I have accounting, art,
Okay.
craft of cooking,
Okay.
charm, disguise because I think I'm probably decent with makeup just in case.
Okay.
Um,
That's one of your personal, I'm guessing.
Yes. Fast talk, intimidate, listen, persuade, sleight of hand, and stealth.
Okay, very cool.
Does that make sense?
I just realized that as you were saying that, you picked like all the right ones, but as you were saying that, I was looking at Ned's. And I was like, wait, why are you choosing all the wrong ones? You don't have library use, you don't have firearms, you don't have fight brawl. Oh wait.
I don't.
Zuma thought that was funny. Okay. Trev, how about you? How are you like allocating those skills? Any like really high ones that are relevant to your character story wise?
I'm taking climb, dodge, fighting, brawl, firearms, rifles, first aid, library use, mech repair, natural world, stealth, and survival.
Nice.
And the highest ones are probably going to be, and then highest ones are probably going to be firearms and mech repair. Probably going to be the highest 2 for me.
Okay, cool. Firearms and mechanical repair. Nice. So if a car breaks down, you'll be the one to talk to.
That's me.
How you looking, Ned? What kind of skills are you working with here?
I'm working with. I think the 2 specialty ones I'm gonna take are sleight of hand.
Mhm.
I think he's able to sneak some things around and move some things.
I think that's
And
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm thinking either drive auto.
Okay.
I don't know though. Maybe fast talk.
I think is an interpersonal skill one of your, because that you could use that as an occupational one if you're. Oh, are you trying to pick which interpersonal skill you want to use?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide between the fast talk and the drive auto as the favored skill, as the one the 2 that we get.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let me know what you come up with there. Dan, where are you at? What are some skills?
Hey, so I'm doing the suggested career skills. I'm listening
Okay.
to the Cube of Arcane Lore. So that's library use. I know my books. I'm a
You do
really
indeed.
good listener. I'm very persuasive. Uh, I can psychoanalyze yo ass. Um, Psychology,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professor of psychology.
That's right.
Accounting, and then my two that I'm grabbing are disguise because of my backstory,
Mm-hmm.
and spot hidden because of my backstory.
Very good. So I think that actually leaves you because you have yours. Yours is a bit unique because since you're a professor, I basically just the book gives a bunch of career paths that you can use as either just the straight careers. It's sort of like the classes in D&D.
Straight.
Um,
Ugh.
well, the not in that way. Um, but yeah, it'll give you like a list of careers that you can use as recommendations and what the skills for those would be. If you don't have one that exactly matches it, or if you have one that kind of matches two, you can kind of mix and match, but you can sort of use that as inspiration. Professor is right in there, so yours were pretty easy to come up with. And Professor's kind of unique in that you have the option to pick two of your choice as areas of academic study. So you have a little bit more freedom than everybody else because everyone else gets like 8 career skills or occupational skills, and some of those are like kind of set in stone, like Ned the Pinkerton agent is almost certainly going to be good at fast talker and interpersonal skill. Um, but since you're a professor and you have access to all of these books, you work in a university, you can choose two just as areas of study that are like occupational, but they're not your interest skills, although you're probably interested in them. I should have stopped talking about this like 10 seconds ago and probably would have made more sense. Um, I know
Does that
exactly where
mean
the
I can
cutoff point
pick
was, and I
more
went past it.
things that are more interesting than my spot hidden in the disguise, or can I pick additional things?
Well, spot hidden and disguise sound like your personal interests.
And I get
So
two of those?
no. So those are your two: spot hidden and disguise. Those are your personal interests. You get to pick two as occupational skills that are not listed because they're like areas of study.
Oh, so I invent them?
No, they're two other ones from the sheet.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I can pick two more academic skills.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay. They also, well, I mean, to be fair though, they also don't have to be like academically inclined. Like maybe you study some kind of martial art at the college. Maybe they have like or whatever you want.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm going to
Maybe you're on
add
the swim team. I
swim a body. I'm
Maybe wrestled you in high school.
don't know. I really walked into that one, didn't I?
I'm going to say my guy then how he studies the mind. He's also had an interest in health and the body. So
Okay.
I'm going to give him medicine.
Great.
I don't think because no one else picked that up, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I think we need some medicine. And I'm gonna pick up. How about history? I'm sure
Okay.
that'll come in handy.
Yeah.
All right.
So those will get points from your occupational skill point. Well.
Okay.
All right, Tyler, how your skills looking?
Good. So I went. Let's see. Dodge, fighting, firearms, handguns. Then I went with persuade and intimidate for my interpersonal skills because I'm
Lovely.
definitely not a charmer and I'm not smart enough to be a fast talker.
Makes sense.
Psychology, so I figure I gotta get in the other boxer's head,
Mhm.
and stealth and spot hidden. So
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I liked that psychology was in there. That's not one that I would have thought for a boxer, but I was reading the book and it suggested that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, you kind of want to be able to like psych out your opponent, know what they're gonna do next.
yeah, try to
Buy
get
it.
inside their head. So
Yeah.
I followed your lead on that one.
How about personal interests? What did you pick for personal interests?
I think that's the interpersonal skills you're talking about, right? Or
Oh no, the two that you are just The two that can just be anything, because those
Oh.
ones you allocate the skill points. So those ones that you just listed are your occupational skills. You can
Okay.
allocate points to those that add up to your what did I say for you? Your education times 2 plus strength times 2.
Right. Yeah.
So once you've done that, then you get to take your intelligence times 2 and
Okay.
allocate those to any 2 skills that you want, except Cthulhu Mythos.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Except for what?
Oh.
Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
All right, I'm good to go. Let's do it.
Oh, I had missed a step. 1 second.
Yeah, Campbell, did you have a question? Is something?
I had
Was
just
something-
missed. I had missed the intelligence times 2. I had missed that was like that those are separate points. I have to allocate some more points real quick.
Okay, yes. Feel free to give yourself some more points.
I think
Um,
I'm gonna go then throw, and I'm gonna say I know a little first aid too, because that makes sense. Seeing a bunch of people get punched all the time, I'd probably
Yeah,
pick
gotta
up
be able to patch
first
yourself
aid.
up when there's
Yeah.
blood on the mat.
I figure I can probably throw some shit. So
I imagine you probably could too. You
Right.
probably got a pretty good arm.
Throw hands.
oh, you know
Especially that, yeah.
it.
Awesome.
All right.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's weapons as well. There's another page too for like backstory kind of stuff and gear, but that's stuff that I know you already figured out.
We all know that. We're
yeah,
a bunch
exactly.
of nerds.
We're
You know,
just-
we've come prepared with a full
We're
backstory.
focusing on the like mechanical part for the purposes of the stream. So yeah, I think with that, once everybody has those skills all finalized, then we'll be ready to jump right in.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh,
my
man.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why I oughta.
There's gonna be a lot of that in this adventure, I feel.
Oh bless us. Oh my
There's gonna-
math.
there's gonna-
Oh, math is hard.
There's gonna be a lot of why I oughta. Any favorite old-timey sitcoms? Anybody?
I don't think I've seen any old timey thing.
I don't think I have either.
No? No? Any old-timey anything? Any like
Does
old movies?
Cheers count? No.
yes.
You know, it's well, I shouldn't say funny or interesting because it's neither of those. In fact, the point of the story is that it kind of isn't. But recently, I was back where I grew up. I was at my parents' house, and my dad told me a story that apparently he's told me before, but I must have forgotten. That he and his brother were on the Howdy Doody show one time.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, like they have, and he showed me not his episode because I don't think he could find it. But he showed me a bunch of episodes of the Howdy Doody show, and it's so weird. Like, what did people just had no idea what kids were into then at all? It's like, here's some puppets, here's an old guy talking to kids. And then it honestly, the whole time I just kept thinking of that episode of The Office where Michael shows the video of him on Fundle Bundle. It's that format. Like he'll take a kid out and like give him a little chat and talk to him, and then, but I don't know, no like important life lessons, no bright colors. Well, it was black and white, so definitely none of that. No fight sequences. Eh. I was like,
Well,
I
if
felt
one's
so
beating
lucky
each
to
other
have-
up, then I'm not interested.
Well, I mean, you know, you don't need that, but I felt so lucky in that moment to have grown up with Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street and
Yes.
shows that had a little bit more like, you
Had a
know,
good time
substance
on
to 'em.
the- Okay. Okay.
All right,
I'm ready.
Get out of here. He's got too much energy to be in this small room. Good boy. Go. Okay. All right. We're gonna let the 1920s music take us away. We're gonna transport ourselves back in time, and we're gonna get into this.
Here we go.
I should say, for those of you watching before we do, Call of Cthulhu is kind of it can get a little scary sometimes. So this is just I'm going to put out a general content warning for adult horror, violence,
Yikes.
unpredictable ending of life, descending into insanity.
Can we?
acting under forces not of your own volition, stuff like that. So everyone, take care of yourselves. Drink some water. Come and go as you please. We love you and we support you. Did you have a question, Trevor?
Can I request a 5-minute break before we dive in?
Of course you can. Yes, we can absolutely do that. We can request a 5-minute break. So yeah, allowing all of you and myself and also the rest of the gaggle to grab a drink, maybe use the loo.
Use the Lou. Tell Lou I say hello.
Mentally prepare yourself for more jokes like that.
I'll stick around here with the goons and keep them occupied. And...
All right, we're back.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. All right, so marvelous. I hope everyone's feeling nice and hydrated and relaxed. And my fascinator fell out, so I
Yes, graphics. I see you, Kay. I see you.
Well, I'm so glad. Yes, we got some graphics going. I'm just, I had some time to prepare. I really wanted to make this special. It's my first time, like, publicly leading a game. I do have to take a second, though, to fix these windows because the size of them keeps changing and it's driving me nuts.
Sorry, I didn't do anything. I promise.
No, none of you did. It's a problem with the technology we're using, which is really good in a lot of ways, but, nothing's perfect.
You are
teeny in window, but large in spirit.
I looked it up beforehand, and it was basically like, because I work in tech, I troubleshoot a lot. So my go-to place is Google. I was like, hey, is this a problem that people often experience with this software? And everyone said, yep. I said, what's the solution? They said, there isn't one. Okay. All right. So that's that then. So it's something we may just have to deal with.
The end.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
We are witty handle. We are using Skype.
Well, we're on
yes, we are.
I have a question
Skype
for
with
you,
OBS, Streamlabs, and NDI. What was the question, Dad?
The question is, if we had an animation for the tentacles in the background, would that work with what you're doing? If there was like some slight movement to the tentacles?
Thematically, yes. I fear for
technologically.
I fear for how the technology can handle that.
Good.
I feel fear.
Because much like a human, when a computer gazes upon the visage of Cthulhu, doesn't often go well.
We're on a technical tightrope already. Let's
It's
get
true.
into this. I am ready for some tentacles.
I grabbed myself a drink like I promised I would, so I'm going to cheers.
Yay! Cheers!
I have me a drink too. You can't see it though. I swear. Wait. Yeah, there's a drink in my hand.
Oh, there. Nice. Well done. Very high sleight of hand score, making that drink invisible.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Are we ready for some eldritch horror?
I want it.
No.
Let's get
But-
spooked.
But yes, but no.
All right, goons. Our adventure begins in Mayfield, Ohio, 1927. The United States, and indeed the world, are in a time of dramatic social and political change. The economy is booming. Everyday people have more money to spend, and goods are being mass-produced on a scale never before seen, making them more affordable. Radios and automobiles are especially popular, which makes the world start to feel a little smaller, thanks to easy travel and mass communication. Prohibition is in full effect, which means there's also a booming black market economy for alcohol, as well as the means to produce it. In the big cities, this often means that there are plenty of opportunities for enterprising and morally deficient individuals to fight their way up to the top. Outside the cities, however, things are growing. They're growing, but a little more quietly. Because automobiles are so accessible and affordable, the Model T specifically, soon to be the Model A in next year, people didn't have to live so close to where they worked, so many chose to escape the big cities for more space and less crime. The American suburb was just beginning to find its identity. We find ourselves in one such suburb. Mayfield is a quiet, peaceful town, full of good, honest, hard-working folk. What used to be a small country village of loggers and miners has grown in population as the interurban electric rail and then the automobile have carved a convenient path along the shores of Lake Erie to the forest city of Cleveland. People buy groceries at the general store. They greet each other on the way to work in the mornings. Kids play barefoot in the street. And any minor feuds, gossip, or rumors only serve to add a little spice to the otherwise happy but mundane lives of the townsfolk. This is all about to change. We begin on a Tuesday in February, in a modest but well-kept house not far from the center of town. In the upstairs bedroom, a woman stirs awake in one of the two twin-sized beds. Campbell, would you like to describe this woman for us?
It's me.
It's you.
Two twin beds. That's
That's
just.
how it was back in the days.
Oh. Yeah. Sweetie's just getting up. Today is the day that I'm going to go to Lori's and get my hair done like I do once a week.
Mhm.
So my hair's it's a little ruffled. Yeah, simple dress. My husband is still asleep in his bed. He's not feeling well. Oh,
Well, it's actually
Kay's going to tell me something else. Never mind.
maybe
Where
perhaps
did
you
he
think
go?
is.
I
Well,
take
actually, okay. So as you look over to see where your husband would perhaps ordinarily be, you notice that he's not there. Also, Campbell, I want you to make for reasons that you'll probably know, and I hope no one else will. Do a
Oh,
quick
no.
con save for me. Roll against your con score.
Oh, not even 5 minutes in.
We just started, Kay.
We're
We
dropping
already
like
getting spicy?
You
Okay.
started spicy.
Okay. First roll. Oh, I rolled a 60 and my con is 50.
You suddenly feel a little nauseous.
Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep, I'm gonna
Oh.
run into the little powder pink
Oh
bathroom.
my God!
Are you
Uh-huh.
pregnant?
The suspense.
Recovering
Girl, are you
recovering from your little stomach upset. You get yourself dressed, put your makeup on. We're getting ready to go to Luscious Lori's, the town salon. And coming down the stairs, you walk by the living room and you see your husband, Howard. He's asleep in his recliner, and there's a bottle of whiskey on the floor, empty, where his hand would have dropped it. The radio is still on, just playing white noise.
I'm gonna go over and check his pulse.
Okay. You do so. You do so. You do so, which perhaps might be a little unnecessary, because as you get real close to him, as you get like within a few feet of him, he lets out a.
All right. I'm gonna give him a little pat on the shoulder.
He doesn't stir.
All right. I'm gonna pick up the bottle of whiskey and take it into the kitchen and hide it in the hanging light fixture. Just pop it up there.
Clever. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do a roll against your I guess either your sleight of hand, or perhaps something better. If you know rules in general, if you feel like something is more applicable to your role, go ahead and suggest it. But yeah, I feel like
Sleight of hand is
very
probably right, but mine sucks.
well. You're just doing your best.
That's fine. Oh dear, it's not. No,
So you fail.
I did.
All right. You get a chair from the kitchen, like a kitchen dining table chair, and you go to stand up, and maybe you're just feeling still a little woozy. You just don't quite have a good sense of your balance, and you go to put it up, and you just you're like sort of messing with the screws on the fixture, and you're worried you're gonna lose your balance, and you decide, you know what, not worth it, and you just.
I'm gonna crash and wake him up, so I won't.
Okay. Yeah, not wanting to risk waking your sleeping husband, you decide not to do so. So, making your way to Luscious Lori's?
Yes, please.
All right, you go. You pass through the town along a familiar path that you've walked many a time before. You arrive at the salon, and Lori herself, the owner and proprietor of Luscious Lori's, waves you over because she knows today's Tuesday. It's when Sweetie McClintock comes to get her hair done, and shows you to a chair sitting next to someone you know very well by the name of Lucille Lowry, a housewife maybe a little older than you.
All right. Hold on. Let me pull up the piece of paper that tells me about her.
There's not much you need to know.
Okay. I'll get
Not
it
in
when
this
somebody
moment.
else is talking.
But
Well, I'm gonna ask Lori. I'm gonna be like, Lori, good morning. Have you heard? Did they have any new fragrances in?
oh, well, I haven't. But I'm not doing your accent. I haven't. But I think you're more involved in this California perfume company than I am these days. I should be asking you.
Well, right now I have violet, white rose, heliotrope, and we just got in lily of the valley and hyacinth, and I'm waiting because I heard that they're coming out with a gardenia, and that just reminds me of home. So if you hear whispers, you let me know, all right?
Well, sure, I will. Those sound heavenly. You wouldn't happen to have any on you today, would you?
Of course I do. And I'm going to reach into my little handbag, and I have like a little sample of the perfumes, and I also like am shuffling around in there, and there's also like toothpaste and shampoo and like lotions and stuff.
Wow, that's quite a collection you have there, sweetie.
I'm building it up. They're coming out with all this new stuff now.
Fantastic.
I'll give her a little sample of the white rose right here on her wrist.
Oh, that
Isn't
is
that
divine.
fabulous?
It is. It is. All right, I'll let you get your hair done. Have a seat, get comfortable, and
Thanks.
and come by my house first next time, will you? Because I would really love to buy some of those and see what else you've got in that little bag of tricks.
You got it. Of course.
So you make your way over to the chair and you sit down, and Lucille, who again you know well, it's a small town, everybody knows everybody well, reaches over to you and gives you a little pat on the shoulder and says, "How you doing, sweetie?"
I'm doing just fine. You know,
Yeah. How's business?
business is great. It's very exciting, but just among us girls, we don't want, how the men folk get.
Oh, do I? Um,
Not
and
that they would be interested.
so that is that's pretty like standard small talk for the two of you, but you get a sense that maybe saying like talking about the menfolk and saying you know how they are kind of hits a little harder than it normally does. Um, why don't you give me a well, you know what? Actually, I won't make you roll on it. It's enough for you to tell, given how well you know her, that something she seems a little off.
Are you all right, sweetie?
Me? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just and she takes a bit of a pregnant pause and leans in and, well, you know, speaking of menfolk, Raymond, who you know to be her husband, Raymond has been just driving me up a wall lately. You know he quit his job at the bank?
No!
He did. He quit his job at the bank, and I can't fathom why. He was doing well. I think he was due for a promotion at the end of the year, but he just up and left one day, and all of a sudden, just all he wants to do is sit in the living room and play music. I know this sounds ridiculous, but that's all he wants to do is sit in the living room and play music. And sweetie, I don't mean like the piano in the parlor. He plays the piano. He got a violin that he plays. He took a piece of copper pipe and carved it into a flute.
He's
I have
playing
never
this
known him
music
to
himself?
all himself, all day. All he does is sit in the living room surrounded by all of these instruments, some real, some imagined, and makes music that admittedly is surprisingly good, but it's just
That's what I was gonna ask.
he's oddly proficient at it. I never knew this about him. I have never once known him to hum a note.
Is this some new career path he's trying to get into?
I sure hope so, because someone's got to put food on the table.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He hadn't said anything about it, like he didn't get in a fight with somebody at work.
No, it all
See,
just seems
I don't
so
know what
sudden.
kind of accident you would have at the bank, but my Howard, he's still on the mend. Oh,
Well,
well, you let me know if you need anything.
well, would you come by later after you're done here? I think I'll be done a little bit before you, but would you come? Come by
Of
the house?
course.
There are a few other. Well,
Is
I'm
he
afraid you
there?
wouldn't believe me if you didn't see it.
All right. Do you need me to bring you anything?
Oh no, just your sweet self, sweetie.
You got it. All right. Well,
So yeah, as she grabs like a tissue out of her sleeve and sort of pats away at the little bit of tears that have been welling up during this conversation, she sits back and the rest of the appointment passes silently. Lori comes over and works her magic on you, passes a few sympathetic glances over at Lucille, knowing not as much about the situation as you now do, but at least that her husband has quit his job and they're going to need to figure something out.
and so Raymond is her husband,
Lucille's
and he
husband.
is Lucille's husband, and he worked at the Mayfield Trust and Savings Bank.
Correct,
Okay.
yes, the Mayfield Trust and Savings Bank
Okay.
until just a few days ago. So, post a salon appointment, do you make your way over to to Lucille's?
Yes. I'm just gonna stop by my house real quick and grab that bottle.
Okay. All right,
On
go
the
ahead, do
way.
so. You can do so unopposed. He's Howard is still out.
All right. I'm just gonna bring that over.
Okay.
Put it in my huge purse.
Make some room, shove aside some toiletries and bottles of perfume, and just kind of jam it in there. Excellent. Okay, so you make your way over, and you come up on the door of Lucille and Raymond Lowry, and you hear music. And it's not hard to tell that it's not recorded. It's not coming from a radio or a gramophone or anything like that. This is live music being played, and occasionally you might hear a note come to an abrupt halt and sort of start the phrase over again, like you hear practicing. And like Lucille said, it sounds oddly proficient, but
What
strange.
instrument does it sound like?
It just sounds like a piano right now, regular old piano.
Right
Or
now.
perhaps a nice trumpet, some brass. Maybe he's playing some brass.
God. All right, I'll just knock.
Okay. You knock and Lucille comes to the door, looking exasperated. You wouldn't even know that she was just at the salon. Like her hair still looks put together, but she just looks so tired. And she just, oh, sweetie, thank you so much for coming. Please, do come in, please. So she invites you in, and do you go?
Yes.
All right, you following her in. You see a somewhat above middle class suburban house, neat, well appointed. Lucille is turning around to you and saying, I'm so sorry for the mess, but in the main entryway and perhaps in the kitchen where she leads you to, you don't see anything really out of place. To her, it's probably a mess, but it seems like maybe one or two things are out of place, which for her is like unheard of. But she is just so apologetic for the catastrophe that her house is. So she leads you to the kitchen, puts on a pot of coffee, and turns around and goes, Raymond, sweetie's here. And the music abruptly stops. You hear the music stop, and you just hear a voice come in from the living room. Oh, sweetie, wonderful, sweetie, you must come in here and hear this.
Oh, all right. And I'll look at her and be like,
she gives a look like, and like allowing you to go.
okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Oh man.
So making your way into the living room. You see a scene much like the one she described. You see Raymond with a light in his eyes. You can just tell that he is living his best life. He's happy, he's excited, he's energetic, and the living room is a catastrophe. It is littered with instruments, like Lucille mentioned, both real and imagined. You see the copper pipe that he has like drilled holes into and carved out a little mouthpiece to make a flute. He has like buckets for drums. He has just like a conch shell that where did he get a conch shell, but he can use it as a horn, I guess. He has just all of these.
Where did he get a conch shell?
An orchestra of instruments is in his living room. But as you come in, he says, "Oh yes, do come in, hear this," and he picks up a violin, and he goes to play the violin, and he starts playing, and you nor anyone else in town has ever known him to play the violin. And normally, when someone just starts playing the violin, it takes about 10 years for them to not sound like they're playing a dying cat. I know because my older sister played the violin. She got past that point, but it took a long time. And it seems, and so, and like he's not playing any music, nothing that you recognize, nothing that you would recognize, nothing like, from the canon of classical music, but he's sort of making it up as he goes along, and then we'll sort of go back and redo a part. And as he's improvising, you would think that some of these notes would sound really screechy and sour, but like while his like music theory and technical knowledge are just like non-existent, he's able to play the violin in a way that sounds beautiful, which is, like I said, very unusual for someone who has just picked up a violin.
Now, Raymond, have
just
you
one
been keeping...
just 1 minute. Let me figure out this one part. And he goes and he plays another couple of series of notes, and they sort of echo and hang in the room for a second. Sorry, what were you going to ask me?
Have you been hiding all this talent from us all these years? When did you pick this up?
Well, it's always been let's say a hidden passion of mine. It's really, I've always been fascinated by music. And the other day I just decided I can't go back to the bank and sit behind a desk and slave away all day. I've got to go make something that matters.
I think that's beautiful, honey.
Thank
I
you.
do wonder what you plan on doing with this.
What you mean?
Don't worry. Oh, you sound just like Lucille. Don't worry. That'll come. I just know it.
Well, good for you. We must just be hysterical.
Oh no, it's understandable to be a little skeptical. I understand it's a little frightening for someone in a consistent career, working at a bank and handling money every day, to now come and want to be a musician. But I think I've really got something here.
What inspired you to finally leave?
He pauses for a moment and just goes, well, I guess I just finally figured out how to put the music in my head onto a page. And with that, he goes back to he picks up the copper pipe flute and goes and starts playing.
How does the copper pipe flute sound?
It sounds like a totally improvised instrument, but like again, he's able to make it sound kind of good. And you think if he had a real flute in his hand, he'd like be oddly proficient at it. But it sounds like wind going through a copper pipe. But he's hearing it.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's any sheet music, any paper lying around, or if it's just he's just making shit up.
Everywhere. There's paper everywhere. It's some of it blank, some of it strewn about, like nothing orderly. But you do see that a lot of it sort of scattered about the floor has like musical notation.
Do you mind if I take a look at this?
Oh,
I've never been able to read music.
Well, sure, but I have to give you the right one. And he sort of picks up a stack of them and kind of like throws them aside, like, not that one, no, not that one, not that one, not that one, no. And he gets sort of near the end of the pile and goes, yeah, okay, here you go. He gives it to you and resumes playing his copper flute.
All right, I'm gonna take it and go back in the kitchen.
Okay, excellent. So you sit down. So Lori is sitting at the table, and the coffee's ready now. She's set a cup out for you, and she is just so tired. And you see like just a single tear is kind of welling up on the inside of her eye, and she says, "So you see, I'm not crazy."
You're certainly not. I don't want to believe he is either, but my goodness.
The only time I get some peace and quiet is when I go to the salon, or on Sundays when he goes to play at the church.
While I'm sitting there, I'm just gonna look at the music. Does it look like real music? Is there anything written on it?
Yeah, it's like this classic like 5-line notation, and it's handwritten, and it looks kind of like untrained, but as an untrained musician yourself looking at it, you would think it was probably, like, if someone were to play it, it would probably sound good. So Lucille sips her coffee and sort of leans in conspiratorially to you and says, "Would you listen? Eloise Bircher has invited me over to her house tonight. Would you come with me? She's been noticing some strange things going on, and she just just keep the circle small. There are a couple people she wants to talk to, but I think maybe it'd be good for you to be there. Oh, wait a second. How's Howard doing? Has he been behaving normally? Is anything strange with him?
Well, he hasn't been behaving normally in months.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right. I just don't like, okay, talking about keeping the circle small. I found this, and I'm gonna pull out the bottle of bourbon, just like sneaky out of my bag. I found this next to him. He was asleep in his reclining chair this morning, and I do not like the idea of alcohol mixing with whatever's already going on in his brain since he got clunked in the head.
Oh no, I can't imagine you do. Well, oh gosh, I feel for you, sweetie. I really do. If you need anything, just let me know. Just if we gotta go somewhere, we should probably not go here because we wouldn't be able to hear ourselves think.
Right. And do you know anything about the strangeness that's going on? What's the woman's name that we're going to her house tonight?
Eloise Bircher is the name.
Eloise. Did she tell you anything about the strangeness she's got going on?
So she does. She tells you, and you would know this too, actually, probably, given that you're a woman about town. That some people have actually gone missing lately.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 2 people.
Shit.
Yeah, 2 people. Whose names I'll give you later. Who have disappeared. An old man and a young boy.
Oh. Okay. Something's wrong with the men.
Blame the men. Excellent. Okay, so you agree to go with her to Eloise Bircher's house tonight. Excellent. Let's take it to Old Man Pearson's movie theater. We make our way over to Old Man Pearson's movie theater, and we just imagine the narration, the personification of the narration, if you will, making its way up the stairs, and into a plain door in the dark, where we see a man from behind working the projection booth. Trevor, would you go ahead and describe Dickie Harrow for us?
Sure. So Dickie Harrow is very, very, very tall. He's probably he's probably 6'2", and yeah, he's just cramped up there in the projectionist booth, turning his little crank for the midday matinee of Casablanca. And no, that's too late. Shit.
Some newsreel or a cartoon or something. You probably wouldn't play movies until later tonight, anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Well, okay, so then, yeah, let's say I'm getting the reels ready for tonight. And he moves about. He's dressed very humbly, sort of almost tattered cloth, right? Moving around as he moves through the sort of little projectionist room. He has the movements of a startled deer, right? And were you to look upon him, the most striking feature of Dickie's would be the fact that half of his face is prosthetic. He was a soldier in World War I, and during the Spring Offensive, he caught a bullet in the eye from Jerry, and the doctors were able to save his life, but he now walks around. He has half his face is like plastic, and so he has his little ring-framed glasses across half the plastic face. Part of his beard is drawn onto the prosthetic. He's got a nice beard, such as I have.
Now this, Trevor, this was really fascinating to me. I'll speak out of the game for a second, but this is a thing that really happened to a lot of soldiers in World War I. Because
it is, yeah. So World War I was a mess for a bunch of reasons. The war was exceedingly dangerous because weapons technology were so far beyond what the tactics of the day. So a lot of people got really injured, but also medical science had taken a lot of huge leaps. So they were able to keep soldiers alive through some really horrific injuries. And so actually there are a ton of, I was doing research for this. There are a ton of images of folks with prosthetic, half their face gets blown away, and they have these prosthetic masks that they can fit to their faces. So if you were to take that if you were to take that off, you would see something pretty horrific. But for now, it's a pretty arresting sight, let's just say. And that's why he works here in the movie theater as a projectionist. He doesn't see a lot of the light of day up here in his dark little corner of the world,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So there you are. You're going about your work as you normally do. When you maybe come to a lull in the work that you're doing, and you look out over the audience and go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll.
Spot hidden. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second here. All right. That's just 25 for me. Let's see what happens. No, that is a 33 over 25.
Okay. So you look out over the audience and
I only got the one eye.
it's true. We gotta forgive him for that. But you look out over the audience and you can't really put your finger on it, but you look around, you see one or two little things that just seem a little out of place. You know that a cartoon reel is coming up next, and there are two children in the audience, sort of talking animatedly to each other, but usually around now they sort of have a sense of when it's going to end, and they've seen enough of these that they get the sense of when it's going to end and when the cartoons are going to start, and that's what the kids are usually excited for. They come to watch the cartoons, and they're having this discussion that seems very animated, they're not like talking like kids in a movie excited theater go. They're not like off the walls and throwing their popcorn. It's almost like they're talking like adults, like they're sort of like gesturing to each other and having like this kind of interesting discussion, or what appears that way.
It's two kids, you said?
Two kids, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll sort of lean out of like the projectionist window, like kind of make my way around the camera and lean out and say, hey, your folks around somewhere, or
All right. Yeah, they're back home. They gave us a nickel each to come watch the cartoons. What are you bothering us for?
Okay, you always just adopt whatever accent
I do.
doing.
What do you want from us? We're just two kids. Our parents gave us a nickel each to come watch the cartoons, like we do every once a week.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just usually, you're supposed to be accompanied by an adult.
It's just forget about it. They turn back to they're watching the movie now. They don't talk to each other. But as you're leaning out, you actually look over and see closer to the front of the screen is one man by himself who's just staring at the screen, not moving. And as you see him, you sort of like realize, oh, this guy's been here all day. And his popcorn bucket is full. He hasn't eaten anything, but he's just sitting at the screen, just staring blankly. You can't see his face, but like he's just totally still. From the projection room, give me a spot hidden roll. Another spot hidden roll. It's gonna be a tough one.
No, that's a 97 over 25.
Oh boy! All right, yeah, you see what he's got one eye, people. You see what I mean? You see this old man, not old. Well, is he old actually? No, he's not old. He's maybe in his 40s. He's an adult, but just staring at the screen, just not moving.
Not at all.
Not in a way that makes you think he's dead. Like you've seen, I mean, you've been through some stuff. You've seen more than your share of dead bodies, and I think you as a soldier, a survivor of World War I, would sort of like get the sense like this person's not alive. But you don't get you don't get that feeling your hackles don't rise at the possible presence of a dead body. He's just not moving and just staring at the screen blankly. Like you're used to seeing the backs of people's heads in a movie theater. They kind of move around as they see the different things on screen.
But he's been here all day.
Eat their popcorn. He's been here since you opened. He came in. You probably wouldn't have seen him come in because you were already up in the booth. But
All right. Well, I'm gonna go down then. I'm gonna come down out of my little tower.
Mhm.
I'll go into the. Is it just him and the kids in the theater?
There are a few other people, but making your way out of your projection booth.
Yeah. I'll head on down to the main theater and I'll make my way through the row over to him.
All right,
This
so
fella.
the very like you open the door to your projection booth, and you see a woman with her like hand up as if she's about to knock.
Oh, jeez. Sorry. Oh, you gave me a bit of a fright there.
Now, let's see. So you have a bit of an interesting relationship with the people of Mayfield. You don't know many of them personally, but I
No,
imagine
well,
you've
I
been
mean,
here
I
for a
think everyone
while.
knows who I am. I picture it kind of as like a Quasimodo kind of relationship with the townsfolk. Like everyone knows who I am, but everyone's pretty spooked by me because I only have half of a face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, accurate. So she's sort of taken aback, and she wasn't expecting to see you. But she has sort of a look of surprise on her face, and she, and of course the shock that you're used to of these small townsfolk at seeing a person with a plastic half face. But she reels it in very quickly, and appears to be searching for someone. She goes, "Oh no, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought." You startled me a little bit too. And then she sort
No,
of feels guilty about
sorry.
saying that.
It's just me up here. I was just getting the film, and he does this thing. He kind of like shrinks, and he starts scratching at his temple, but in such a way that covers the prosthetic part of his face.
Yeah, so this guilt kind of washes over her as she's like, "Oh, did I say something that offended this poor man?" But she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought maybe this would be Mr. Pearson's office."
Oh no, sorry. This is the projection room. If you're looking for Mr. Pearson, he's down the hall.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could show you if you like. I'd hate for you to get lost again.
No, that's quite all right. I think I can find my way. Well, the thing is, I knocked on that door, and Mr. Pearson wasn't there.
Oh, well, that's peculiar. I mean, he might just be stuck in some paperwork. Here, let me see if I can rouse him for you, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss.
Bircher. It's no, sorry, Franz, Miss Franz,
Franz.
Esther Franz, and it's
Franz.
Mrs. actually.
Mrs. Franz. Sorry, where are my manners?
Well, look, I don't want to spend too much time here. I'm terribly sorry, but I've been looking around. You see it's my and she too starts to get like really looking very exhausted and sad, and she says it's my son, Charles. He's been missing since the day before yesterday. He loves coming to the theater. I thought he might maybe you or Mr. Pearson would have seen him. I don't suppose you have you?
Well,
And you do, like, most of the names of the people who come in regularly. Like I said, it's a small town. And Charles, yeah, you think you know who Charles would be, and he usually comes in with the same group, and you have not seen him.
Charles. Yeah. I think he know. I think I know him. He comes in for he likes the Mickey Mouse shorts. Tugboat Willie, all that. Yeah.
He does.
Nope,
Well-
that's still too late. I can't do it. I can't do it right. I can't do it right. That's still
It's
too late.
hard. It's hard. 1920s is a
What
very.
existed in 1927?
This is
That doesn't
we're in
matter.
an alternate universe.
It's like 1920s. There wasn't anything.
She looks at you like, who? No, but
No. You're. Well, I'm afraid I'm sorry. I can't say that I've seen him today. I'm really sorry, Mrs. Franz.
Well, that's all right. And she sort of like seems like she's hesitating for a moment, and then looks at you and goes, You served, right?
Well, every day, yeah, for every day serving up movies, hot and fresh.
Oh no, I meant in the war.
No, I know. Yes,
Oh.
I did. What gave it away?
And you just like this is torturing her. She feels so awkward. She goes, well, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to poke fun. I know you're in distress. Is there anything else I can do for you? I mean, I've got everything lined up until we got the late picture tonight. Uh, can I help you? I mean, I'd be happy to help you
Well,
look for
as
your
a matter of
kid.
fact, I was going to ask maybe if a few of us are just concerned about Charles and are
Sure.
meeting at my friend's house tonight. A woman by the name of Eloise Bircher. It's possible you know her. And you do.
Sure.
You know Eloise Bircher.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. I mean,
Well, look, you work at the theater and people come in and out all the time. I just think maybe what you know could be useful for
uh,
what's been going on.
uh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be happy to help you. Of
Thank you.
course. Of
Thank you
course.
so much. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you'll come. I think we need all the help we can get. Thank you. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much. And she
Sure.
like turns on her heel and
Well,
starts getting ready
can
to
I?
go.
You might just want to let people. Sorry, I don't go to a
Oh,
lot of functions. You might just want to
no,
let people know, because sometimes I I have a tendency to well, I
of
just put
course. I'm
people
so
on edge,
sorry. Yes,
and it's already a tense situation. If you could just let people know uh you know.
of course, I will. I'll do my utmost to make sure that no one's, including yourself, is uncomfortable.
No, and I'm sorry. I know there's already a lot going on. I don't mean to put you out. For me, it's more just out of consideration for everybody else.
Okay.
It's a lot.
All right. That's all right. We can do that.
Yeah. So, but well, great then. Not well. I'll see you. I'll see you.
I'll see you tonight.
My God!
Woo! All right. So, we're gonna do a little bit of like a time jump. Um,
Oh?
we're gonna do a little bit of time jump because we're now sort of seeing outside Mayfield, or the road into Mayfield. There's only one. There's one in, one out, and we see a car, a Ford Model T, as a matter of fact, as was the the common vehicle of the day. And as we sort of get close to this car, we look in and we see a man driving it. A man with a little bit of blood on his knuckles. Uh, Tyler, do you want to describe your retired boxer to us?
All right. So you see this ugly kind of guy. You can tell his nose has been broken a few too many times. Doesn't sit quite straight. Dark hair, dark eyes. 6'2", about 190. You see this guy's seen some stuff. His face kind of wears his journey, and he's got his wife and two little kids sitting in the back of the car. His son Maxie is 10, and his little daughter Margaret is 8, and then his wife Barbara is 32.
Okay. All right. So I think you probably would have come to them from doing some work in the closer to the city. So maybe you like picked them up somewhere on the way home.
Oh,
To
or maybe they're not in the car with me, and I'm
maybe
just
not. Okay.
driving home from work to go meet them. I'm looking for my family.
There you go. Okay, that's okay. All right. So yeah.
I'm
Okay. So you're by
so
yourself.
looking forward to seeing my family. I'm just
You
picturing
look
them
over
in
and
the car with me.
it's almost like they're there. You just
It's
missed them
almost
somehow.
like they're there.
Um,
And then I go to like touch my wife's hand, and I'm like, oh, I'm heading home to you after a hard day at the lumber mill. All right.
and you look down and you see the hand where her thigh would be, and you just see a little bit of blood on that knuckle too. And yeah, you're coming back from doing some work in Cleveland for a man by the name of Salvatore Tadaro.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll learn a little. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about him as we go along. But you're driving and making your way home. It's been a long day. You've had to do some stuff that you're really hoped you wouldn't have to do. and you're tired. The lines on the road sort of start blending together. Roll a spot hidden check for me.
Oh no. Well, of course now I roll high. That was 83 on a 40.
All right. So okay. At the what's it just all of a sudden you see like this flash of light in the corner of your eye, and you know just too late really, and you see it. You sort of snap to attention, and you see a form running across the road. Give me a drive auto check.
Oh no.
Oh no!
So what happens if I don't have drive auto?
There's a default score, so
Yeah,
you'll
there's
see a
a
little number in
default score for
parentheses.
everybody.
You gotta get under a 20, bud.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, so that's a 75.
Oh!
Over 20. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
All right. Well, at the very last moment, you try to swerve out of the way as this form goes running across the street. You don't really see what it is, but you lose control of the car. The car spins wildly. It's fishtailing back and forth. I mean, those old Model Ts only had one-wheel drive, and as you're spinning and spinning, you go off the road, and the car, it's like you get T-boned by a tree, just crunch the passenger side of the car.
Ugh.
Take 1d4 damage.
Oh,
Oh, that's like
Holy shit!
help.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
this will be the time that I roll high.
Roll low, baby, roll low.
Holy shit.
Rolo.
I rolled a 1.
Hey!
Excellent. So, you are able, as the car is spinning, to steal your stealth. It's as if you flash back to your days in the ring. You see a fist coming for your face, and you're like, let the air out of your lungs and kind of tense up. And the car hits the tree, and it's on the passenger side, so it doesn't quite crumple into you, but you are sort of like thrown to the side a little bit. But you're able to like get a hand up and kind of stop yourself from taking too much of that hit.
Wow.
You are conscious. You check yourself real quick. You're all right. You got a convenient excuse for all that blood on your knuckles now, and you kind of gently push the door open and make your way out of the car. Smoke billowing up from the front.
Well, look around. Do I see what ran in front of me?
It's gone. You see, you sort of can put together, and also you don't know how far that car was moving, but you can maybe sort of remember the direction it was going. It was going off from the left side of the road to the right from your perspective.
Don't look for it, bro.
But as you're looking, you do see the light on in a house.
So I'm gonna look at the car. Oh, just what I needed today. Check myself over. Well, shit. Start heading over towards that house.
Excellent. So you make your way over, and yeah, just needing to use a phone or something to get in touch with somebody, anybody, the police, whatever. Gently knock on the door, and we cut to. We jump back in time a little bit. To the Mayfield lumber mill, just outside of town, not too far. But on the outskirts of the ever-shrinking forest, as all these trees get cut down all the time. And we are in the cafeteria at this lumber mill, and we see a lot of big, strong-looking men eating their little boxed lunches. And we come across one man in particular, sitting a little farther away from everybody else. Ned, would you describe Buddy Wilson for us? In disguise, right now. Ned is a Pinkerton agent, but right now, he's playing the part of a lumber mill worker.
See a stout but hardy guy is in his early 50s. He's got a real clean cut haircut. He's got a scar going down from his left eyebrow all the way down to like the bottom of his chin. Just a gash of scar tissue. And he's sitting there, and he's got like a ham and cheese just on white bread. He's not really eating it. He's just kind of looking around. He's keeping an eye on the foreman, and he's keeping an eye on the second in command, who's in charge of all the people that are running the wood through the mill. And he's just waiting.
So yes, in the time that you've been working undercover at the lumber mill, you've been just starting to hear little whispers here and there of workers interested in unionizing. Now, this is specifically what the Pinkerton Agency sent you here to do a little bit of recon to find out if that was the case. So your training, and as well as your bosses back in Ann Arbor, or I think that's where the headquarters of Pinkerton was this time, they suggest that in this situation you integrate yourself into this movement, if such a movement exists. And you've started to do so, and in doing so, you've already spent a fair amount of time with Wayne Heitman. Wayne is he's sort of the de facto leader of this unionizing front. Wayne also lives in Mayfield, like yourself. Or, well, lives in Mayfield. But Wayne hasn't been to work for a couple of days. He hasn't showed up. And he's been fired for not showing up, but nobody can tell him because no one can reach him. But as you're sitting there, just kind of looking around, trying to see if maybe he's going to come today and the scene that's going to play out if he does, a man who you have come to know by the name of Arthur Bircher comes and sits next to you. He sort of gives you a little elbow on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I'm starting to get a little worried about Wayne here. It's I don't know,
I'm not.
have you heard anything?
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah, well, it's. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's just, something typical, but
Well, maybe it's just this. Maybe it's the sawdust. Maybe he's
well,
got too much of that in his lungs.
But no phone call? Nothing? Look, I mean, that happens to us all the time. My mind's been going a little crazy. He was the one who was sort of starting to try to think about unionizing.
Hey.
Shh. Oh,
Come on now.
He was the one who was starting to try to think about maybe getting a bunch of guys together to, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe try to make things a little better around here for the other guys like himself, you know?
Right. But listen,
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm worried somebody might have heard. There are people. These big wigs over in Cleveland will hire someone to come into these mills and like look around and see if maybe someone's. I'm worried that maybe someone's done something to him.
Yeah. Well, listen. Listen. If anything really happened to him, I'll tell you what. Take a drive by his house. Okay. Make sure everything's all right. I'll knock on his door. I'll see if he's feeling okay. But aside from that, you gotta keep it down, bud.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
God
I'm
forbid
nervous,
the foreman
I'm
gets wind of this, and then
Yeah. Look, all right.
then you're out on your ass.
Why don't we go tonight? After work, would you come with me?
Yeah, sure. I just gotta make a phone call, and then but
Great. At the end of the day, when the whistle blows, hop in my car. I'll take you home. Give you a ride. But well, I do have to make one stop first.
all right. Yeah, should be fine.
We just got to go by my old lady's house. She's a little nervous too. She's having a few people over just to sort of talk about things, just try to see what's going on. A friend of hers, kid went missing, beside herself.
Kid went missing.
Yeah. Little Charles Bircher. No, that's the wrong name.
In a small town like this?
A little kid with a name that I can't remember right now. Yeah.
Kid went missing in
It's like a second son to me. I don't have a first son. He's like a son to me.
It's a shame I can't remember his name,
Like I told you, strange things are going on. My mind's all over the place.
Yeah, right.
All right, after that,
Well,
we'll
listen,
stop by there.
Maybe we could set their mind at ease, and who knows, maybe he's tied up with that too.
look, I hope so. I hope there's a simple explanation to all this. But you come with me after work. I'll drive you to my house for a little bit. We'll give you some coffee and maybe some dinner. I don't know what my wife's got planned. She's got some kind of crazy things going on. And then after that, we'll head over to Wayne's house and see if we can figure out what to do.
Listen, with the way that you're looking, I'm sure your wife is cooking real well. And he kind of slaps him on the stomach, and he's like, ah!
You guys like that. But it's
All right, when the whistle blows.
So, when the whistle blows, we go, last but not least, to, where did we go, actually? Did I? Ah, yes, okay. We go back to sort of closer to the center of town in Mayfield, where we see a man walking along the street on his way back to his apartment after a day of work of filling young minds with knowledge at the University of Mayfield. And there he is. Dan, would you please describe Professor Hugsley Lacker to us?
Yeah, Professor Hugsley Lacker, he likes his studies, he takes his time, and he's getting used to this new town, but he's a little nervous. He's I'm a healthy 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
My size, they say, is a 70 on my skill chart, but I'm more lanky, more tall than brawny, but watch out, because I'm quick with it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Quick-witted and quick-witted.
Oh my God!
Excellent. All right,
I do enjoy presenting myself well to the public. I'm not the most handsome man you've ever seen, but I don't look bad now. I don't look bad.
Not with those glasses, you don't.
Thank you, Kay.
So, you have you're making your way back to your house. You're either you've parked or maybe you don't have a car. I don't know. It's up to you. And you're making your way back along the road to the apartment where you're currently staying. Turn the key to the door, to the door to the building, and as you're walking in, you get a little closer to your apartment, and as you're about to put your key in the door, you hear something. And it sounds like it's coming from inside your apartment.
All right.
Nope.
I'm going to put my ear on the door to see if I can get a better sense of what it sounds like. If it's footsteps, if it's something slithering across the floor.
Okay. One moment.
Never a good sign.
I'm scared.
Wording.
I can't watch.
I'm scared.
Roll for wolves. Roll for thugs.
Who's in my apartment? Also, I'll say this, Kay. I'll say this. Hugsley puts his ear to the door.
Okay.
He's a little terrified, but he's also somewhat excited and hopeful.
Okay. So you put your ear to the door, and well, okay. So first of all, give me a listen roll.
Mm-hmm. I rolled a 76 and my listen's a 60. Whap.
So it's very well. Okay, it's let's see. It's very, very faint, but for the briefest of moment, you think you hear footsteps going away from you, and then it's over.
Going deeper into the house, or?
Well, it's a small apartment, as you know, and even with a not great that great of a roll, you can tell it's going the other way, which you would know, having being the one who lives there. The only thing back there is a window.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna freeze, and I'm gonna think. And then I'm gonna drop my bag with my shoulder bag with all the books and stuff I have and homework assignments. And I'm gonna take off my blazer. I'm gonna roll up my sleeve, and then I'm gonna, as quietly and as quickly, try to sneak around to the back of my house.
6. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. You do so. And as you sneak around to the back, knowing where that window opens, you look up and you see the window is open. And like the drape is blowing in the wind out the window.
I'm going to turn around and look into the yard and try to spot hidden.
Okay, on roll spot hidden. All right. Yeah, give me a spot hidden check.
Oh. Jesus Christ, a 92. So
Oh,
I
heck and heck.
Beautiful day.
It has not been
looks
good
like,
so far. It has not been good so far.
Yeah, no, it looks.
well,
All you
you
see
guys,
is
it
that,
turns out it's not the die, it's not the campaign, it's me.
Can we get
Yeah.
an F in the chat for Dan's
Wait, can I
rolls?
wait?
Well, I don't think
can
anybody has succeeded
Okay.
on a check yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I push the roll?
Yes, you can. You can push the roll. This is something we haven't discussed. By pushing a roll in this game, you essentially get to. I think you essentially get to give yourself an advantage die. But give me a description of what you do to push the roll.
Okay, so I sneak around super quick, super stealthy, and I get to the back of my house and I see the window open, and I go, the fuck? And then I slam my back up against the wall of the building to try to look around to see if there's anything that came out the back of the house. And when I do that, I bang my head, so I'm disoriented. And then I gather myself and I take a deep breath and I really try to pay attention to my surroundings.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and re-roll the tens die of that D100.
Oh, I thought you get to re-roll the roll. It's just,
Oh, you're right, you do. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead and re-roll it.
It's the same. Is it meets it beats it?
Yeah, meets it beats it. It may
Okay.
not be by the rules, but like that's just easier for me to remember, so we're gonna play meets it beats it.
Wow.
So you make it. You make the spot hidden check. Like
Six
a
bad, yeah.
success, not a hard success. Okay. So looking up, or rather, actually looking down, as you're like underneath the window, pressed against the wall, you look down and you see glass, indicating that maybe the window was broken, but broken out of the apartment.
I go, oh shit! Who's gonna pay for that? They're in the goddamn fucking apartment. So I feel pretty comfortable that they're not in the house still. But do I see any figures in the yard?
You do not.
Oh,
It is,
God.
it's just you look out and you just see like the edge of the yard, the hedge. It's just darkness beyond.
All right. So then what I do is I take off my tie. Hugsley takes off his tie, and he balls it up in his hand, and he'll take the tie, ball it up in his hand, and he'll start like picking up little pieces of glass and puts it in the tie. And he's just gonna be back there like cleaning up. He likes his Hugsley likes his stuff orderly. He wouldn't
Cool.
he wouldn't leave this back there in the yard.
All right, excellent. So as you're doing this, I imagine like from where you are, you can still kind of see the street. When all of a sudden, two kind of big, strong-looking men approach, walking down the street. It turns out that those two men are Buddy and his friend. What's the name of your friend again? Arthur? No, Arnold.
Arthur, you said it was Arthur.
Yes.
Arthur and Buddy. Yeah.
You see Buddy and Arthur having gotten out of Arthur's car and making their way over to his house.
Would I know them or no?
You might know Arthur. It's probably pretty unlikely that you would know Buddy.
Okay. And does Arthur look trustworthy?
Yeah. I mean, you don't know him super well, but he's seems like a friendly guy, jovial, man about town. You know.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do.
He works at the lumber mill.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be cleaning up, and then I hear and see them, and I yell out to Arthur. I go, excuse me, Arthur. Could I talk to you for a minute?
Well, sure. Hey, buddy, why don't you come with me? He makes his way over. Yeah. Huxley, is that right?
Yeah, Huxley, and
Huxley,
I'm
yeah.
sweating. I'm sweating profusely right now.
Oh,
And
you don't
and
look
I
so
go,
good, buddy. You doing
and
all right?
I'm really not. Arthur,
Actually, you
Oh,
look a little sick. Are you doing okay or what?
Yeah. What seems to be the problem?
you won't believe what just happened. So
What? Well, try
I'm
me.
going in my front door like I've done every night, as if I live here, right? I'm going in my front door, and I go to put the key in, and I hear someone in my apartment run around
What?
the back, and my window's blown out. And I'm gonna put my pride aside, and I'm gonna be smart.
Yeah.
Would you
they're
mind
good, good. I was just
escorting
gonna
me
say.
into my home to make sure if there's an intruder, they're gone? Cause I don't want to say it, Arthur, but I'm a rarity in this town, let's say. So I want to
Oh,
I
wow.
want to play it smart here. I want to play
Well-
it smart here.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. Did you? What, Huxley, did you take a look in the backyard? Did you see if there was anything going on? Any footsteps or footprints or anything like that?
This is the weird thing, right? That's exactly what I did. I ran around to the back. The only thing I found was this broken window, but the glass blown outside. They broke out of my house.
And there was no sort of indication that they broke in the first place.
Not that I can tell. Okay, I'm gonna look for footsteps in the
Okay.
backyard.
Yeah. Give me
And,
one
I,
more
and
try.
I'm actually gonna rope all of them into it. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, buddy, you
I'm
can go
gonna-
ahead too. Arthur's
folks,
not
y'all,
that great at it, but you can.
y'all mind helping me scope out the?
Oh, yeah,
scope
come
out
on.
yeah,
Lead the
scope
way,
out the
Huxley.
thing. Yeah.
Come on.
Sure. Arthur looks like he's helping, but he's looking at his watch. He knows he's got to get home to his wife.
Yeah,
Arthur,
Arthur,
if you
you're
want
right
to,
up the
you
road,
go,
right?
all right.
No. Listen, I
Right?
told you guys you'd come and look. I told you I'd help you out. I'm gonna help you out. Just let's be a little quick about it.
All right.
All right.
Look, one quick peek, and then we'll head on to your wife's.
Sneak and
Great.
peek. All right, let's go.
Huxley, you should come. I don't want you hanging out in an apartment where somebody could be hiding in the closet. You know?
You know, Arthur, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
Oh man, wait, whoa. Yeah, who would do such a thing, hide in the closet? That's never served anyone.
Indeed.
That was so mean.
Make your spot hidden rolls. Both of yous. Both you clowns.
Both is. Yeah, wily sons of.
All right. Oh, excellent. I got a regular success.
Wow.
Success. Okay.
I got a 5 under 45.
Dang.
Wow, that's an extreme success. Isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words, right? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so buddy.
I can't do math.
Buddy, you don't see any footprints per se, but you do see like an indentation in the ground. Almost as if the glass was broken and something heavy flew out of it and hit the ground.
Huh.
And does the indentation look like shoes? What does it look like?
It's kind of muddled. It just looks like a.
But it looks like
fairly-
something. It looks like something flew out of the window, hit the ground, left the
And then went-
indentation.
somewhere.
Well, Huxley, I don't know, but it looks like and he does like kind of that math thing. He's like looking at the window and he's looking at the ground. He's looking at the window.
It's like the scene from The Wire. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. that.
Motherfucker.
So he's like looking at it and he goes,
Fuck.
"Here's my idea. I think somebody threw something out the window to make the window broken, and then they climbed out of the window. But whatever they threw out, they took with them." Got anything
See, I
heavy
don't
missing?
appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. I mean, you're already in my house, and then you could at least just use the fucking door.
Well, Arthur kind of chimes in. Well, what do you say we why don't we run in and see if anything's missing? Yeah, most of the time someone breaks into a house, they steal something, right? Let's go take a look.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna run around the front. I left my bag and my stuff at the front. I don't want someone to
You
swipe
want to
that
go
out.
in the window?
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna walk around. I'm gonna walk around the front, and I'll come
Okay,
let
so
you.
yeah.
I'm gonna come walk around in the front, enter my house the way a normal person does,
Of
and
course.
I'm gonna walk through, and I'm gonna bring you
Absolutely.
guys in from the back. All right, so
Yeah,
I'll be
great.
right back. Don't go nowhere.
take a look.
If you see anyone suspicious, get him.
You don't want us to come in there with you?
Well, I think he wants to go unlock his door and let us in the back. And it's his house, so who are we to argue? Just,
Sure, yeah. Okay,
Huxley,
just
we'll be waiting
careful.
right here. You go on ahead, and we'll wait for you. To unlock the
Just
door.
be careful in there, all right? Look, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want anyone getting hurt.
And if I need anything, I'll yell canary.
All right.
Canary.
Well, come back out as soon as you're done, all right?
All right. So I walk
So you go to the house?
back around to the front. I grab my bag. I sling it over my shoulder. Throw my coat over my shoulder, and I pull the keys out my pocket, and I unlock the door, and I go inside.
As soon as he does that, Buddy pulls out a pack of cigarettes, knocks one out, lights it, looks at Arthur and goes, "I don't know about you, but I think that guy's a couple chairs short of a parlor, if you know what I'm saying."
I think so. I mean, he works at the university. I think you got to be kind of smart to be a professor.
Oh yeah,
what do
but
I
I
know?
mean, who goes in the front door and leaves us to sit at the back? I mean,
That's fair. That
It's not
is
my
dumb.
problem.
We should be
You know what
going
I'm
in there
saying?
with him. What if somebody's in there 3-1, right? Yeah, dumb.
right? That's my point.
Hey Ned, I can hear you, right?
so Huxley, you make your way into the house, and you look around, and just at first glance, you don't really see anything out of place, nothing missing. All of your things are right where you left them. But I would like you to make a spot hidden roll, please.
Do you want me to do that first, or can I do the thing I wanted to get in the house without them for first?
You can do the second one. Whatever it is you wanted to do.
Okay, so first, before I do the spot hidden.
No, you know what? Actually, do the spot hidden first. Do the spot hidden first, because
okay.
maybe you notice something that changes what you want to do.
Yes, ma'am. Ooh, 39. A regular success.
Regular success. Okay. So yeah. You see one of the floorboards looks ever so slightly askew.
I'm gonna do two things. I'm going to take a mental note of that, and then I'm gonna hurry up, and I'm gonna put away a bunch of news clippings. I'm going to on my living on the so there's in the closet in the living room. When you open it up, on there I have a map of the city, and I have a bunch of places I've checked out. I've been doing my own little kind of investigation. And there are a couple of wigs. And I'm going to gather up my my items, and I'm going to gather up the news clippings, and I'm going to gather up this I just have this whole thing laid out where I've been doing some research, and I'm going to quickly gather it up, put it in the closet, close the door, and I'm going to do this as quick as possible to try to make it seem like I didn't stop to do anything. And then I'm going to try to hurry up and get to the back to let them in.
Okay. So opening the door to the back where they are waiting for you. Arthur's giving you a look, kind of well, I guess no one's in there, right? That's good.
I guess so.
You find anything missing, Huxley?
You know what? I'll tell you this. Buddy,
yeah.
Buddy. All right, I'll tell you this, buddy.
Put the cigarette in my other hand. I reach my hand out. Buddy Wilson.
Hugs Alaka. Shake your hand, and I'll tell you this. I went in to the front, and I'll tell you what, I was feeling real stupid when I was in there by myself. So I didn't quite look around. I just hurried on through to let you ride on in, because that seems like the smart thing to do.
And did absolutely nothing else.
Nothing else at all. All right, Arthur chimes up. All right, Huxley, tell you what, we're going over to my wife's house. We're gonna, she's having a couple friends over. We're gonna have a cup of coffee. A lot of weird stuff's going on, and it seems like some weird stuff's been happening to you. I mean, this is a small town. It's not every day someone gets broken into, you know? So, look, why don't you come back with us? We'll call the police. We don't want anybody coming back to the scene of the crime. It's gonna be cold in there anyway. It's the middle of February. It's gonna be a horrible draft. Just come. We'll make you a cup of coffee. We'll call the police. We'll get everything sorted out.
Yeah, isn't it that Martin, that Kavanaugh guy, right? He works at the police station. Isn't he down there?
Well, I don't know if, well, I don't know who my wife invited, to be honest, but, I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
Okay.
I appreciate that, and I'm definitely gonna take you up on it. But I gotta get this place in order first. So why don't you head on back over? It seems like everything's okay. I'm just gonna straighten up a few things, and then I'll be right over there. And I got me a nice Chianti in the kitchen I can bring with me.
Well, I'm sure my wife will love that. That's
Chianti.
Chianti, Arthur. Chianti.
Like the
That's
salad dressing.
It's Italian.
Yeah, but what is it? It's an Italian.
It's a
What?
wine.
Oh,
I don't know
okay,
what it
great.
is, but it's Italian. I can tell you that. Oh, it's
All
a
right,
wine.
great.
Oh, Hux.
It's a wine.
All right, great. Okay, yeah, sure, bring it over. I'm sure my wife will love it.
Why don't
Just
y'all
don't-
go? I'll be right behind you, and I'll bring some culture with me.
That goes right over his head.
That works. Yeah, make sure you bring the culture. Yeah, that's
great,
important.
Great. And Arthur starts making his way off towards.
And while they're leaving, I go, hey, and I appreciate y'all coming over and answering the call. It's mighty kind of.
That's what neighbors do. They walk off.
All right. So then they're walking off, and I'm waiting, doing my thanks. And then as soon as they're out of eyesight, I turn and I run in the house to check out the floorboard.
Ooh, okay. So you go in the house and quickly pulling up the floorboard, which is loose and askew. Nothing's there. Dust.
Okay.
Make
I have
another
a
spot hidden
question.
check. Make another spot hidden check, actually.
I got some questions.
Can I push this one since it's a new roll?
Sure. Well, if you push it, it'll probably take more time, and I know you're trying to do things kind of quickly.
Okay.
What'd you get, though?
I got a 79 and my spot hidden's a 65.
Yeah, you guys are rolling really high tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dust. You see dust.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask this. I feel like my character would have examined this entire apartment when he moved in. And so
Okay.
has he not found this floorboard? Like
He
it
has
seems
not.
like he's thinking it seems like something was removed from the apartment. And I feel like he would have scoured this apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I would say that no, you have not found this floorboard.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna be fucking late. Let's push this bitch.
All right, pushing this spot hidden.
74.
Jesus!
It's really dusty under there.
Uh-oh.
I get some in my lungs.
You sneeze. Achoo.
Ain't that just the way?
Well, with this
Shit.
spot hidden, you catch a glance at your wristwatch and notice that a bit more time has gone by than you would have liked.
All right. I go, oh shit! And then I run to the kitchen. I don't remember if Chianti should be refrigerated or not. I don't know where I would have left it, but I grabbed the
No,
Chianti.
probably not.
I grabbed the Chianti and I
Don't
hurry
forget
on
the
over.
fava beans.
I hurry on over.
Great. Okay. Making your way over to the house of I keep forgetting his name, Arthur, right?
Yeah,
Arthur.
Mhm.
Arthur and Eloise Bircher. Dan, you are the last to arrive. Hugsley, you open the door and you knock on the door and Eloise comes to answer it and goes, "Oh, you must be Hugsley. My husband told me you were coming. Please come in."
Well, thank you. I brought a little gift. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, that's so nice of you. You really didn't have to do that. This is Chianti. Nice. And
Culture.
Very makes her way in. And following her in, you catch a glimpse of the living room where you see a beautiful young woman, a grizzled-looking guy with like kind of cuts and bruises all over him and like kind of bloody knuckles.
It looks like he was in a car accident recently.
Yeah. Arthur and Buddy from before, who you know.
It's me,
And,
Buddy, from before.
and a gentleman who I'm sure you probably have not met yet, with a very unusual-looking face. And if you look a little closer, you realize, oh, that half of that man's face is prosthetic, and you like collect yourself. You're like, I don't want to offend him, but yeah, you make your way in, and so does Eloise. She comes
Can
in
I
with
ask a question?
Go ahead.
The psychology skill.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly does that do? And can
It's
I use
tricky.
it to
Yeah.
read the room?
Yes, that's what I would use to read the room. Psychology is more like getting a sense of other people's motives and stuff. It's more like insight in D&D, as opposed to the other one, psychoanalysis, which is more like your ability to like diagnose somebody or know what's going on with them.
Okay, so I'm gonna
It's kind of a blurry line, but we'll work with it.
I'm gonna walk in the room and then I'm gonna do a quick read on everyone.
Okay. A psychology roll.
92.
Oh my god.
You pop open the cork on that Chianti and say, I heard there's a party!
How do people react to a bottle of wine being brought in?
Eloise took it and brought it to the kitchen. So
But
that's
is
why I
that
don't
not
see it
like
yet.
a weird taboo hidey thing in Prohibition times? Do we have any kind of reaction to that?
No, you know what? I totally forgot that it's Prohibition. But here's what I'll say. I think, because I learned a couple things about Prohibition in the time that I've been doing all this studying. One, we'll say it's a pretty old bottle of Chianti because Prohibition made it illegal to manufacture alcohol. It didn't necessarily make it illegal to like distribute it.
Ooh. So this is a really kind gift I'm bringing.
Oh yeah, this is like,
Nice.
she's like floored by the generosity of this gift. Like some clubs in New York City were rumored to have stores of alcohol that could last years, and like stocked up before Prohibition took effect. So you know, it's not super unusual. It's really nice, and it's rare.
Yeah.
And alcohol is something that like, but looking at the label, maybe she would see that like, oh, this is from before Prohibition went into effect, so like it's legal.
So I'm gonna say this is what happened when I tried to read people. I walk in, I hand the bottle of wine to Lucille. Is that her name?
Yeah. Eloise is the woman who lives here.
Eloise.
But Lucille
I
is there
walk
too,
in-
actually. I forgot to mention. Lucille is also there.
Okay, I
Sitting
walk
next
in.
to Sweetie.
I walk into. I walk with this bottle of Chianti. I give her the wine, and I'm like, yeah, it's old. We're good. And and then I try to do a quick read, and then I try to do like a quick read on the room, but I am so caught up on the floorboard and how I could have missed it, and then wondering what the hell was taken out of there that I missed when I scoured the apartment.
Yeah.
And so I don't clock much.
All right, makes sense.
Buddy is smoking a cigarette, and he Tyler, tell me your character's name one more time, buddy.
Good old Benny Kaplan.
Benny. So he looks over at Benny and goes, pulls out his cigarettes and goes, "Man, guy, you look how I feel. Here."
Ugh, sure could use one. Thanks, fella.
Pulls out a lighter that's about this big, that thick. It's one of the old-fashioned ones, and he flips the gold lid off it and
Well,
lights it up for you.
lean in and get one, and then just take a nice long drag and lean back and let all that hurt kind of waft away in that smoke.
Hey, I don't mean to pry, but what happened to the other guy?
If only I knew. Next thing I know, man, this car came out of nowhere. Ended up against that tree out front.
I overhear this and I go but you didn't see what crossed the road?
I saw something. Just enough to try to avoid it and eat that tree out front.
Did you Did you have much rest when you went on the road?
Rest ain't a luxury that I get very often.
Okay, can I try to psychoanalyze him to see if he actually saw something or if he was hallucinating?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down. And what's your guy's name again?
Benny Kaplan.
Benny Kaplan. I'm gonna sit down across from Benny Kaplan. I'm gonna pour him some Chianti, and I'm gonna offer him a drink, and I'm gonna start asking him just some like easy questions at first, like where were you coming from, and then I'm gonna share where I was coming from, and I'm gonna build some rapport, and then I'm going to try to figure out if he was hallucinating or actually saw something. Okay, this is doable. That's a normal success. It's a 43 and I have a 60.
Okay, cool. How does it go, Benny?
So, can I roll to oppose this or what? Because I mean, I don't think I hallucinated.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I think that's
I
what he
mean, like
gets.
this is
Actually,
kind of a
he doesn't.
question for you as the keeper.
A
Like
bit, yeah. No, well,
Benny.
so in that, so you were successful.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. He does not seem like he's trying to obscure the truth or anything. He just seems like he's been through it. He's had a rough night. But no, like he doesn't. You don't
Like
really.
essentially what I'm trying to do is I don't think there's any way for Tyler's character to know if he saw the truth or not,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But
I'm
like, see if
wondering
he
if
was
I can
hallucinating.
use my medical expertise and my knowledge of psychology to distinguish if he was hallucinating or
Yeah,
not.
totally, totally. Yeah. You do not get any indication that he was hallucinating. He seems of sound mind.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Um, so as you're all sort of sitting down and making your pleasantries, and Eloise has, yeah, Eloise has opened. I keep getting all the names confused. Eloise opens the wine and gives some to some of you and is very excited how great this is and just pouring thanks to you, Huxley, um, and wine. She goes and sort of stands at the center of the room and says, "Well, I'm so glad you could all come. I really am. It means a lot to me. As you know, well, some of you know some of the strange things have been going around town lately, and I don't really know what I hope to gain by having people over at my house, but this is a small town, and we're a tight community, and I would hate to think that something more bad things are coming. I just want what's best, and I just want to gather information, talk around people. I'm not saying anybody's involved with anything at all. I just any help that you can give me will be so appreciated."
Now, just getting all the facts.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 people missing from our town now.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody know them? Real close?
Who's missing?
So who did I say? I said it was like an old man
It's
and
an
a,
old
and a young
man
child.
and a young boy.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I knew the boy. I mean, I didn't know him. I just, I saw him. He would come into the theater a lot.
Hmm.
Did anything seem strange about him last time he was there? And he just came in, saw the movies like usual, and left?
As far as I can tell, I mean, did he have any other friends, maybe? Other
Oh,
boys, that he spent time with? There were 2 in the theater today that I didn't really recognize. They were having some kind of conversation.
well, sure, plenty. There's lots of kids here. It's a great place for families. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. Like I said, I really don't know what I was hoping to gain here, but this is a great little opportunity. There's some of you here who turns out I don't know very well, and that's a pity. So why don't I go put on a cup of coffee, and we'll all get to know each other a little better.
All right.
So
Sure.
she makes her way off to the kitchen, and starts you hear the sort of the sounds of some rustling in the kitchen. Everybody, please.
Oh shit.
Listen roll.
Listen.
Jiminy Christmas.
Jesus Christ.
That is a 32 under 45.
No.
So, regular success or hard success? Regular success.
That's a regular success. Yep.
Okay. Anybody else?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so 1 regular success. Buddy, you are the only one who hears the sound of breaking glass, but everybody hears the shriek that follows it coming from the kitchen.
What?
And we'll find out why next week.
Wow! There's so many other things I wanted to do.
Oh shit! I gotta write that down. Broken glass.
Walking on broken glass.
Hey,
God, I love this
Gaggle, thank you so much for coming out tonight and being a part of this and staying in the chat and being so sweet and loving and we love you guys so much.
We really do.
Hell
Yes.
of a cliffhanger
truly.
there, Kay.
Truly, thank you so much.
It
It really
was.
is excellent. We are going to be picking this back up next week. Same time, same place, same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to find out what's going on in the town of Mayfield, and more specifically, what is going on in the kitchen of poor Eloise Bircher.
If you can't stand the heat.
With these 5 intrepid adventurers. Yes, before we sign off, I want to thank all of my players. Campbell, Trevor, Dan, Tyler, Ned, thanks for making the time to do this. I know that our
Thank
schedules
you,
are a little
Kay,
tough.
for being
Yeah,
our
thank
you.
taking up
That was so
the chair.
Oh, I love
Congrats.
it. I
Don't
love
hate
it
the
so
player, hate the game.
I don't hate any of you, and I love this game. Awesome. Okay, yes, so those of you watching, thank you for joining us. Tell your friends, tune in next week. We're going to put this up on YouTube. We're also going to take the audio and put it on our RSS feed, so if you're a patron on our Patreon feed, you're going to get to listen to it whenever you like, and maybe, I don't know, catch on to a few hidden clues sprinkled in every now and again. So yes, please come join us next week. Tell your friends. We love having you, and we'll see you next week back here and everywhere else that we are active in the meantime. Love
All
you,
right,
Gaggle.
Gaggle.
Yes,
Mwah.
thank you.
Bye, Gaggle.
Take your night with advantage.
Yeah, that.
Take your night with insanity.
Also that.
Yes,
Oh, no.
even better.